Hey y'all, it's me. I'm back. Y'all, I had to come on. This is so impromptu. We were supposed to have Tommy Tuesdays tonight, but this is it's some other stuff going on. This is gonna be a Almondeyez 78 first. Um, First off, I'm gonna be eating dinner, so I apologize up front, y'all. But I literally just got through cooking and got burnt like 2 or 3 times because I was in here trying to cook and watch Black Man Unfiltered stream for the night, which we gonna pop into in a little bit. And folks was in there saying some it was cracking jokes and damn shower got me, y'all, a couple times. Anyway, so Tuesday, y'all can tell I'm a little bit hyped. We have a lot of sugar and no food. Like I really haven't had it since like 8 o'clock yesterday night. But anyway, today, y'all, today has been the day of um girls trips. There has been so much conversation today about girls trips. Are they appropriate? What happens on them? Where you go? What determines a girls trip? And how does your man feel about it? This all started this afternoon on This Might Be Risky. Shout out to him. Um, and so he usually gets me through my shift. So he came around noon Eastern Standard Time. Um, yeah, I saw they called Brick Lady. We're gonna get into that. We gonna get into that. I ain't had time to really do any recon on her because I've been in the midst of this here. So, this might be risky. Hamp was on earlier today, and he was talking about saying girls trips. And he had quite the panel, quite the panel. Um, he had his young regulars from his channel on. Uh, Black Man Unfiltered stopped by. Shout out. Um, what you know podcast. I think JT. He was the most memorable for me. Um, the most memorable. A couple other people were on, and so tonight on Black Man Unfiltered on his network, he actually is has his panel give their take on it. So again, a couple people we're familiar with. Black Man Unfiltered, JT was on there. TJ from Real Bravado Network was on there. So I got burned laughing at him messing around. He was on, and we still in the midst of the girls trip conversation. I got some questions, y'all. But before we get into all of that, let's see who all is in the house. We got Celine. What's going on, Celine? Appreciate you stopping by. You always in the house. Hey, Mark. Um, okay, so y'all gave you that info. No smoke. What's going on? How you doing? Appreciate you for stopping by. Hey, King. What's going on? Oh, hey, for excellence in the house. What's going on, bro? I have not forgot about that email. I'm literally gonna do that. So, but I had to come on. If you got a minute, can you come up because I need some sound counsel and advice. I need your opinion on this. If you got a minute, let me drop this link because I thought I was no, I am learning. Let me stop. Now I'm not versed in hoe. I'm not versed in hoe and raggedy significant other. I'm not versed in either one of them. So listen, the panel was live. Now again, these are two different shows. This Might Be Risky was on this afternoon. That panel was all the way live. Like I might have to pull that up for us to take a quick peek. It was all the way live. Now, Black Men Unfiltered, he had men and women. Um, it it was interesting. I wasn't as live as This Might Be Risky, but it was different because we had common sense and comedy courtesy of the Real Bravado Network. I mean, he was kind of the most memorable, but I mean, over here we biased, that's how people. Um, But I'm still not, because like I said, I'm not versed in hoe, and I'm not versed in raggedy significant other. So I have some questions. Oh. Hey, CP, what's up?
What's good, sis? I got a minute. What's good?
Okay.
How can I help you?
Quick question. Okay, this whole girls trip situation. When did it, or maybe you know, when did it become you got to specify it's a girls trip? You got to be going to certain places, and your sole purpose for going is to hoe. When that happened? Have you experienced any of that?
Wow.
Because I'm confused now. Like I said, this is two different live streams that I, you know what I'm saying, was watching. The first one was this afternoon. It was all the way live. You get the chance to go back.
Okay.
Watch it. It was all the way live. And then the one that's going on now, which we probably gonna tap into in a few minutes. But the second one, I didn't know it was all this criteria for it to be a girls trip. Because from what I know about being a hoe, you really ain't gotta leave the country. You can go in the next room and hoe.
Well, my experience.
I'm confused.
My experience. I started to notice things in the 90s.
Okay, that's what we
And
did. Yeah, okay.
When I started, traveling and things of that nature, you gotta understand when guys was going out and doing things, who are we doing them with? Other women. You understand? Right. Case in point, when you go to these different states, bike week, different cities or whatever.
Bike week is in my backyard.
Everybody come from their cities and meet in one city, and they could be whoever they want to be. Mm-hmm. And back then there was no social media, so you'll never see these people again. So you freak off and you leave. But men weren't, men were connecting with women, and the women weren't being forced to do what they do. And one thing we understood was that women were using that time to act out of character because there were other people, most of them respectable people from where they came from. But it's like, okay, now I'm going to let my feet up and I'm going to live a little. What I also realized is when that time, because that was just a brief moment in my life. It was like maybe a 5-year span. As I got older, I noticed and I started to learn that behavior didn't start with my era in the 90s. It actually predated it. I started to learn about that other culture, women traveling from all over the world. I knew about women going to Jamaica back from when I was in high school. Mm-hmm. I went to school with a lot of Jamaicans. And every
Jamaica situation is old. I actually went to Jamaica in high school.
Yeah, let me tell you, when I was in high school, 14, 15, 16 years old, my friends, they would go home to Jamaica over the summer. Well, actually, a lot of my friends were born in New York, but their parents were from Jamaica, and they would go there every summer.
Okay.
And they would come back with these like far out stories. Hey, man, yeah, man, me slept with the white woman. And we'd be like, yo, man, get out of here. You're lying. And then years later, we started to hear, I knew about those raft rides and other things back then, but I thought it was BS. Because I just thought they were lying. I thought they were, we're kids, a lot of those cats would lie on their private parts. But then when you get older and you start seeing, you're like, wait a minute. Maybe what they were talking about is not far-fetched. And what sealed the deal is these videos that came out in the last year and a half or so. Mm-hmm. With these women on the raft rides and getting these butt massages and stuff like that. I'm like, holy crap. Goddamn 30 years ago.
Yeah, that's crazy. And that's where in the hell is that taking place? Because I've been in Jamaica like 4 times. I have not been where all of that's taking place yet. Like
it's like,
is it like something you supposed to book or what? Because I was
from what I understand, it's like any city. When the brothers hit the city and they're on the prowl, you have to ask, yo, where can we go get that at? And someone will point you in the right direction. It's the same thing from what I understand.
Okay.
In Jamaica, you have to ask, yo, where can we go get our joints knocked down? And then they'll go. You understand? But I said that to say this. You see everyone in the Freaknik, Kappa Beach, what was the joint up in Long Island? It's right there at the damn beach. It escapes me, but there was every summer there was something to do.
Yeah.
And what I found was the behavior didn't start in the 90s when I was a kid. It predates that. Women have been traveling from Europe to go to Jamaica and parts of Africa to lay down with these young black kids. They've been doing that for years. Now they're just more out loud about it. And being that we're in the era of sexual liberation, you know, and to be a hoe has become a badge of honor. Here we are. And this is just something that it's like they want to whore out and we just have to accept it. But we don't have to. They expect us to. And I'm like, damn, thank God I'm married. I ain't got to deal with this. I'm on the outside looking in. I don't judge anybody, but there's certain behavior that I choose not to deal with. You know, I look back, you know, when I was younger, in my late teens, early 20s, you had your run. But then when you get a little older, you look back and say, well, shit, I could have died doing this. I could have had a baby doing that, could have caught an STD doing that. And you're like, thank God I got out of that. You know, it's like, wow, you look back and you're like, man, be careful. Be careful. You know what I mean? And that's right. King Bob is right. It's like, accept us for doing this or you hate your mama. that type of thing. And look, I'm 48 years old. You can't pull that on me. My thing is this: live your life. And when gravity takes over your boobs and your kitty cat, the lips are hanging out so you can fly like a little hang gliding pink bat. When you ran through, and no man, no matter how much degrading you do, when the man that says, look, no, I don't want to deal with you when you run down a snack box.
Condition.
You can't shame anybody into dealing with that. I want to know what's the next move when the insults fail and the shaming fails and all that fails. What are you going to do? Because I'm not on the market. I'm good. I'm just on the outside looking in, and that's all I have to say about that. It's very disturbing, very disturbing.
Okay, let me respond to something Mark just said. Okay, Mark, I understand. I saw how Stella got a groove back. I went to opening night, so I'm well versed. But now we're gonna be honest, in the beginning, that ain't what Stella went there for. That was her friend Delilah was like, let's go over here see what's popping in Jamaica. Stella was over there to read and run and relax. That's what she said.
But how did that end?
That is exactly what she was doing.
How did that end?
You're right. I'm just saying, in the beginning, her intentions, she didn't have on her mind. She was like, get on this. Because now, honestly, I have been on trips. I didn't know that everybody was going to the layup because that ain't what I was going for. But literally, these chicks, soon as the plane touched down, they went in the bathroom, took their drop off. Like they literally in the airport commando. Like I'm like, I've seen it. So
can I share a story about her? It was a fantasy movie based off true events, and I said, hey man, okay, that's good for her, right? But let me say this. She shows up on the Oprah Winfrey show. And that's when I knew that her groove turned disastrous. Because when she was on the stage and everybody was like, yes, girl, yeah, you're the victim. When that brother walked out on the stage, I said, that don't look anything like Taye Diggs. I knew on sight. I said, this guy's a homosexual. How does she not see this? Was he like this?
I was confused myself.
I was like, yo, okay, he was in Jamaica. Dudes, they can't hide the way he walked out on stage. I said, wait a minute. That's the guy? That's the guy right there? Look, she was just happy getting her back knocked out. And he took half her stuff, man. He took half her stuff, and I said, well, you know, damn. But I did look at it. I said, she didn't see this guy coming. She didn't see him, pun intended. She didn't see him coming. That was insane. She was that digmatized that she didn't see anything but this younger dude wanting her. And now she's on Oprah beefing with him. And he's sitting up there more sassy than her.
Yeah, I was confused. Well, I mean, if you look at it, Star Jones did the same thing. Who couldn't see that he wasn't gay?
Oh my gosh, man. Oh my God. And you know what's funny? In my personal life, there was a couple of women that hung around in our group of guys, and we made it our business when they started dating a guy. We didn't give any advice, because if we told them the truth, because you know, y'all sisters, y'all know each other, and you could pick something up that a guy might be missing, or he's just we're hypnotized by the shape or something, or she might give a little good head or whatever it is. But y'all could see, yo, there's something with that chick. As a man, we knew that when the ladies say, well, what do you think of him? He cool. Knowing, we were like, nah, you see that? You see this dude? She don't know what this dude is about. We know in 2 seconds what type of time a dude's on her. And if she can't see that, I'm staying out of it. Because next thing you know, we're jealous, we're haters. And haters wasn't around back in the day. We just said you was flat out jealous. Yeah. You understand? And I've learned to mind my mother scumping business. I'd be like, nah, he cool. And I just get off of it. He cool. What y'all doing? You gonna play ball? You want to go to the lounge? You want to play some pool? He cool. And then when shit pops off, it always does. Shorty was sitting in front of the house. I'm like, well, what's wrong with you? I caught him cheating. Hey. Bitch, you ain't know that? Okay, whatever. We good. But I can't say that.
I've had to do that a couple of times. I'll be like, girl, you
I can't. I mind my business. I got to mind my business, man. But to answer your question, girls trips are indeed that. And it's a double-edged sword. I'd say if you know your ladies, if you know your wife, it's cool. But if you're that type of person that you know your wife, but you know your wife's friends, either you don't know them. Huh?
Yeah, I can see that being a problem.
If you don't trust one of your wife's friends, or she's known for being a little loose, your wife shouldn't be hanging around her. What the fuck is she hanging around her for?
Exactly.
Let me tell you something. Early in my relationship, there was there was definitely 2 dudes. Like when I started taking life serious, I didn't go hang out with them like that because I knew what type of time they were on. I mean, they cool in the gang. Like we meet at the gym and pump some iron, or we play some ball, or we boxing or whatever. But outside of that, it's not, yo, let's go hang out, let's go chill, because I know what type of time they on. I'm like, y'all go ahead. Y'all go ahead. Because I'm serious about what I'm doing here. I'm a family man now. I'm serious. You know what I'm saying? You got to differentiate that. You know what I'm saying? And some people, male and female, don't know how to let that go. But you know, as a man and as an adult, I'm not going to restrict it to men and women. As an adult, you know when your friends are on some smut stuff. You know that. You got to stop it at the door. Stop it at the door. So if your wife is telling you, hey, I'm going on a girls trip, who you going with? I'm going with Bone Quisha and Fun Connor. And you know they're smuts. Like, yo, all right, listen. You know how they get down. Don't tell me you're going to be somewhere where it's hot and blue and the water's blue and you ain't going to be doing nothing. How about this? I'm going with y'all. Let's see what she say.
Okay, now you know what? Now on the second live stream, Black Man Unfiltered, RBN was on there. He said the same thing. He was like, I mean, you gotta go that bad, then I'm gonna go with you, and we can just all, you know what I'm saying, kick it and chill.
So, and guess what? Your wife shouldn't be against it. Listen, man. Listen.
Why don't y'all just go together and skip all the extra?
Hey, listen, how about this? Look, it's immature. I still go to the titty bar. My wife go with me. Say whatever.
I've heard of that though.
Listen, I'm grown, bro. We grown. We have fun together. It's cool. It's cool in the game. There's not a place that I can go that I don't take her.
Okay.
So I'm cool in there. You know, now I ain't gonna put all my business out there, but it is what it is. You know, I don't have the same issues that I see people fussing about on YouTube and stuff. I don't identify with that. That ass, my wife is literally one of my best friends. She know who she married.
That's what's up.
You understand? So I don't have those problems. You know what I'm saying? I can leave my phone around and she can go. Listen, we don't got that. You know, it's like whatever. I've given her money to. I ain't gonna put my business out there, man. But you know, I mean, it's like, yo, you know, I don't identify with none of this shit. You understand? That's literally my road dog. So I ain't gotta hide shit. You understand? And
So
saying
y'all
I don't
can have a
problems.
conversation about an issue and resolve it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
She watched my show and everything. She, you know, it's like whatever. You know, I don't have these problems. I really don't, you know, so I don't identify with any of this shit. I see all of these panels and they be some good panels, but I watch them and I'm like, man, I'm so glad I don't go through any of this crap. It'd be so stressful. You know what I'm saying? I was saying on my show the other day, I said, man, you know how easy it would have been for me to Derek Jackson, the community? I'd have had 100,000 subs by now. I could have did it easy. But I got to look at myself in the mirror and I'd have half the brothers on YouTube like wanting to kill me. You know, you listen, you could pander all you want. It ain't going to work out for you in the long run, man. You see Derek Jackson now.
Yep.
You know, I mean, and guess what? His brand ain't really that offended. I mean, it's not offended. His brand is really not that
not really.
It's not destroyed like you think, because there's still people hanging around him like that. Just give him a minute. He's gonna pop back up.
Yep.
Because women are like men in that aspect. They like eye candy. They don't give a fuck about what he's saying. They don't care.
Okay. So when I say that, people be looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, no, a lot of this so-called manosphere space, a lot of y'all just, you know what I'm saying, as long as it sounds good, you're not, you know what I'm saying, you're not doing any recon. You're not doing any research. You're not vetting these people. You're not asking for any receipts. You're just going along. They drop you a couple of super chats. You're just going along with what they're saying. I'm like, but then so somebody come and start trying to ask questions, then it's hostility.
Here's what I've learned. Here's what I've learned in this social media space, YouTube in particular, because you know I come from the boxing community,
right?
And there's a lot of characters on YouTube, a lot of sickos out there. And here's what I've learned: if people like, trust, and respect you, to a degree, it doesn't matter what you do. They're gonna fucks with you. It don't matter. Really doesn't matter. If they like, trust, and respect you, they're going to deal with you. I've seen some YouTubers get caught doing some really like ridiculous stuff. And they lay low for a second and they come back like nothing happened. They may have lost some subs, but in a month they'll gain some back. You'll read in their comment section, hey man, we still with you, so-and-so. And they don't really hurt like that. So I watched that and I said, it don't matter. And you can watch that in politics. You know, if Barack Obama said grab him by the pussycat, he'd have been done. But why is it that Donald Trump could say that and those white women says, no, that's still my president? They knew.
Honestly, I thought it was funny.
Hey, listen, babe, I didn't care about it because I knew what time it was.
It was because I mean, I can tell my business, but I mean, like, dude, I've been great.
You know, that's why I didn't get offended.
Nothing he said was a lie, but it was just funny to me.
When the man said he could stand right up here on Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and no one would care, I didn't get offended. I knew what he was talking about. But the world said, oh, he can't say that. Now, true enough, if Barack Obama, in the midst of him running, if he said anything that he said, he'd have been done. I get it. Yep. I get it. But my point is, if people like, trust, and respect you, they're going to fucks with you. It don't matter. It's called a core audience. And a lot of people, a lot of sickos have a core audience. InfoWars, core audience. This is people just don't, they don't care. If people like, trust, and respect you, they're gonna fucks with you. And I've learned that on social media because I've done a lot of research before I started running my mouth on YouTube. I've done a lot of research, and then I've watched this thing, and I'm like, yo, there's a lot of assholes on here. And I'm only talking about the boxing community now because I've looked at this stuff like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? Foaming at the mouth. Clearly, they need a pill. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm looking down, there's 500 people in this chat. I'm like, oh shit, he's crazy, but they love it.
They love it. They do. They love it.
Yeah. So, you know, and it's like that in every space in here. I don't care if you're knitting sweaters. I've seen it all. Like, there's spaces on YouTube that I didn't even know existed. There's a space where there's people dressed like animals on here. I said, okay, you know what? I don't know how I got here. I shut my computer off. I'm like, what the fuck? Million followers. I said, God damn. What you have to do is find your niche and stick to it. Stick to it. You know, so I understood what Derek Jackson was doing. I understood it. I'm not hating on him. You know why? The audience gave him life. Now, Derek Jackson's a dude that Shorty, there go my brother, Dr. Mark. Derek Jackson's the dude that Shorty will bring to the block. This is my boyfriend. And we'll look at him and be like, okay, this is your boyfriend? Okay. And we won't say a word until the inevitable happens. Until the inevitable happens. Man, looking. It's just, I understand. I understand this space. And I learn every day. I learn every day. I've met so many powerful people on this social media stuff. I've gone to fights and I have people from other countries stop and take pictures with me. And I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't even know I was that popular. But it is what it is. I had one viral moment and I'm making the paper in the UK.
International love. That's the international love. Yes.
Listen, I went to Vegas for a fight and I had people from the UK stopping me and taking pictures with me. And I'm like, what the hell is this? I was literally trying to go to my room. I want to take a nap. And people, hey man, can I take a picture? Hey, I remember you. I'm like, what the fuck? Dude, who do you think I am? I was like, oh,
so we got mobs to look forward to in November.
Huh?
I said we got mobs to look forward to in November. When we get
oh man, look, man.
Meet up.
Man, listen. Fight week, it's in Vegas. Depending on who's out there. When I head out there, man, we have fun, man. Me and my partners, we head out there. We have a lot of fun, man. And I was just amazed, and I'm so appreciative because I'm a small channel, and all of my brothers, I call them my big brothers, so they got bigger channels than me, and I'm just grateful, man. And I'm a sponge. That's why. It's called social media, and you hear me say this a lot. I didn't get on here to make enemies. I came on here to make friends and associate, learn, help, and grow as a cohesive unit. You're gonna find that when you grow, some people will appreciate you. Some people will use your energy until they get their wings, and they'll leave and not look back at you. They might sneak diss you. I've been through it all. But you can't let those things deter you from who you are. It almost happened to me a few times where I just said, F it, I'm not helping nobody no more. But I feel
I'm trying to fight through it.
I feel icky when I'm like that, because that's not my energy. That's not my energy. I always want to help because there's a handful of people in this space that help me. And these guys they do YouTube full time. Yes. You know what I'm saying? I know what money they make. And the fact that I can call them on the phone and I can get advice, that's a blessing. You understand? So I always respect the humble beginnings. And if they're helping me, who am I not to reach back and help anyone else that's trying to grow? That's just by nature who I am. You understand? And how do you deal with negativity? Almondeyez, you got a block button. Make sure once you start getting trolled, that means you're doing something great. Just use that block button. It's going to be your best friend. It's going to be
Okay.
your best friend.
I
I'm
will.
telling you. I'm telling
I
you.
will.
You know what I mean? And you're doing great work. You're doing great work, man. These topics
Thank
are
you.
awesome. You know, before I get out of here, I'm gonna start doing Zoom meetings because I have a lot of people asking me, you know, for advice, and I tell
Mhm.
them I don't know everything, but I can tell you what I did and see if it works for you.
Okay.
I It's the same thing with working out. People like, oh well, you know, I'm trying to work. I'm like, look, I'm not a personal trainer, but I can tell you it works for me. You see that's my dip bar right down there. I
Mhm.
was just doing a set when I was listening to you. I was doing
Okay.
my dips right there,
Cool.
you know. And I said, yo, I'll hop on here with you, you know what I mean? But we're gonna talk behind the scenes, you know what I'm saying? So,
Okay.
you know, I got some ideas for you, and I think that'll work, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So we just started in 2024, and I got a plan for about maybe, I swear to God, like 15 people, man, because um
Okay.
that's something I'm gonna
Yes,
stick
I'm
my
here.
chest out. You know, I would love to have 15 cats be like, yo, I got monetized. And for me to be a
Mhm.
part of that, that hits me here. You know what I'm saying? You see Dr.
Right.
Mark in there, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I'm at that brother's service. That's a good brother right there. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So this is how we grow. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I salute you. This is a hot ass topic. I'm gonna get back in the chat and do my set. You know what I mean? Um, Salute to the brother right there. Brother, what's your name? I saw you sitting
All
in the
right.
back.
V been Israel.
Oh, yo, I didn't notice you with the damn hood up, man. What's good, brother?
Yee.
How you doing, good brother?
I'm hanging in there, man.
Excellent, man. Excellent, excellent.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying you said something earlier that's why I came up.
Yeah,
That a lot of this started before Freaknik and the
yeah.
bike rally. And what happened is a lot of it started in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a real push to get women into colleges the same rate as men.
Mm.
And we don't realize in fact in 87, that's where it became equal, where the same amount of women and the same amount of men was going to college at the same time in
Mm.
1987. And what happened during that time is black women started adopting a lot of things that they saw the white folks doing. So they saw the white folks going on their spring breaks to Long
Yes,
Island, as you pointed out,
yes,
Martha's Vineyard,
yes,
the Hamptons,
yes. Spring
right?
break was a white thing for a long time.
It
The white
was.
people had
It
already
really
been doing
was.
it.
Yep.
So then the black women say, you know what? We want to do it too.
Black spring break.
So then they started not Freaknik, they started
Greek
the
Fest.
Greek Fests in
Yep.
Virginia Beach. Because a lot of folks used to go down to the Hamptons in Virginia.
Yep.
So then black people started taking over Virginia Beach.
Yes.
And then for Virginia Beach, you had
I
the
love
bike
Virginia.
rallies.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of them went to, especially in the South, you had a lot of high schools that for spring break, they would always go to Myrtle Beach.
Yep.
And then that started becoming a normal where it became the bike rally. And then from the bike rally, black women moved it to the fraternities, particularly the Deltas. They moved it to Atlanta. That's where
Right.
Freaknik came about.
Right.
Because before Freaknik in Atlanta, it was Jack the Rapper.
Uh-huh.
Everybody from New York would go down to Atlanta for Jack the Rapper. And that was mainly the men. But the women wanted their thing too. So then that's when they started Freaknik, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you know, the bike rally was going on already. Freaknik, Daytona, Miami Beach, et cetera, et cetera. The rest is history. Now, that same group of women, you know, in the 90s who was going to Freaknik, they never stopped. So
Okay.
when they graduated high school, they found other events to go to. And this
Mm-hmm.
goes to the question that Almondeyez asked earlier. Was it coordinated? Well, the men, like he pointed out, would just wait till they got there and they would ask questions to the locals. Hey, where do I find this at? Where do I find that at?
Right. Right.
But when the women started doing the traveling in the 90s, it was a tourism thing. They was planning the parties.
Yep.
They was planning the sex events. So that's why you didn't see it out in the public, but they already knew the private parties was going on.
Yep.
They was already marketing to those women. So when they already planned these trips, they already knew they was going down there to have sex.
Mm-hmm.
They still have these sip and suck parties, as they're called now.
Yeah.
The videos have started to come out. So we've been seeing what's been going on for 30 years.
Yep.
Also with CIAA here in Charlotte, which is now going to be in Baltimore, right? Mm-hmm. Same thing. That same group of women have been doing this year after year. They never stopped. Never. Now those same group of women are grandmothers, their mamas, and we want to make it seem like, oh, it's a modern woman thing. No, grandma was doing it too.
Yeah.
That's why I say grandma ain't had no drawers on.
Oh, that's rough.
I say that all the time, and people get offended. You know, oh, you ain't talking about my grandma. Yes, the hell I am.
Yeah, bro.
I went to school with your grandmama.
Mm.
I'll be 48 in August.
Mm-hmm.
I seen all of this shit, and I've been watching it the whole time. Especially here in the South. It gets raunchy here in the South.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Mm-hmm. You know, because the South is excluded. You know, you got a lot of small towns. You got it ain't just Myrtle Beach.
Right.
You got Sunset Beach, Isle of the Palms, Charles.
That's my favorite.
You know, Wrights Beach, Wilmington. You got a lot of raunchy shit that goes on in these little towns.
Mm-hmm.
But I find it funny, you know, and of course, because of social media, a lot of this is starting to get exposed now. But if you've been in the South or you got people down here you talk to regularly, it ain't no surprise to us. It been happening the whole friggin' time. And we got to stop acting. That's why, you know, I have a problem with a lot of these panels. Mm-hmm. People jump on these panels and they really don't have the experience that they claim to have.
Right.
They really don't know what they're talking about. They don't know history. And all that they're doing is offering opinions and conjecture. And it really, the last 3 to 5 years, we spent debunking a lot of this stuff. And here we are in 2024, starting up new panels like they're brand new things. And they talking about the same shit that we already discussed and debunked.
Yeah.
I remember being on Dennis Sperling's show, a year and a half ago or 2 years ago when we was talking about Freaknik. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about these girls' trips and stuff.
Yeah.
And now they starting again, like we didn't have that.
Like y'all didn't talk about that. Right.
I'm like, I remember this shit.
Yeah.
But, you know, everybody acts like it's it's new to them. But it ain't new. And it's been going on, you know. And the sip and suck parties, or they've been called different things. You know, we called them lockups. We called them pleasure parties, private shows, you know, especially here in Charlotte. The private shows was real popular, hell, 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. When me and Almondeyez was working at Convergence, I mean, I was printing the flyers for these damn things. You know, they was having them in nice hotels, so you either knew in the know or you weren't in the know.
Let me tell you something, brother. It was called Male Review Night, and back in the 90s and the early 2000s, you know, I did a lot of more or less in the late 90s, I did a lot of security.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
A lot of security and the Male Review Nights. I'm gonna tell you something. Those Male Review Nights
Yeah, the
women,
male reviews, male lockups, you know.
the women were worse
Off the
than
hook. I used to watch them just with the college.
anything I've
Off the
ever
hook.
seen in my life. I mean, that was when I first started working at those joints. The things that I saw when I stuck my head through the corridor, and I said, let me see what these women screaming about, and these dudes on stage getting top with no hat on.
Yep.
And Shorty got a wedding band on, and she's, I mean, down to the pubes, her nose is. And I'm like, oh my God, yo, what is going on?
Right.
All of that? Jesus Christ. And you know, not for nothing.
I was at one show where the guy, after they got to performing.
There was a secret party that used to be going around New York called the Brain Fest. Anybody from New York knows about Cameo in the Brain Fest. You went to an address and there'll be someone there saying this ain't the address. Here, take this paper, go to the other address. Because Cameo's parties were official. And I was like,
Jersey, so I remember growing up to all of that shit.
You went to the Brain Fest?
No, I ain't never been to one, but I knew about it. I was too young when I lived in Jersey.
Bro, you know, Cameo still throw those parties too.
Yeah.
He still throw the party. I ain't gonna say much. I'm just saying. When I went into one
party at one of the main clubs, and then the after party was at one of them, you know.
Bro, yo, you walk into a party, you like hit the wall because it throws you off because you wasn't expecting that. You're like, what's happening? Like, what the fuck? Whoa. I'm surprised the whole building ain't burned down. There's someone's sending. I was like, oh shit. It was crazy. It was crazy. I mean, listen. It was, I'll just say it was crazy, man. It was a crazy thing, man. But listen.
Yeah, I heard about it, man. I know what you're talking about, man.
Harlem, Brooklyn.
The main party, and then everybody peel off from it.
Yeah.
You know, Club 88 in East Orange, or the Zanzibar in the North.
Zanzibar. Holy shit.
What I'm talking about, right?
Yes, sir. Golden Lady in the Bronx.
So it ain't nothing new. That's what it, like I said, these people don't really know history, and they talking or acting like this is something brand new.
Right.
And this shit is decades old. It's been going on strong for decades.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't have social media back then the way we do today, but there was a form of it. You know, flyers would get circulated.
That's right.
You know, certain DJs would knew about certain things, you know.
That's right. That's right. The local DJs,
so it was a grapevine sort of thing, you know. But you had to be in the know. You had to be one of the cool people, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be, you wasn't no cornballer, as we used to call it back then. You wasn't no duck, back then. You
had to be in those house parties to find out where the joints were at.
Oh yeah, the house parties.
House parties was popping.
Especially, like I said, the main shit to jump off in New York, and then next thing you know, everybody heading through the tunnel to Jersey.
To Jersey, that's right. And it's all connected if y'all don't know. All of that's tri-state. Jersey, New York, all of that's the tri-state. All of it.
You gotta be in the know, to know where things is at,
Yeah. Mr. He said, yeah, Annie up, Bed-Stuy. Yeah.
Hey, that's when reefer was reefer. It wasn't no loud back then. It was reefer,
Yeah.
Ooh, child.
It was an underground. It's crazy. We talk about this. I was gonna talk about the underground culture in the 90s.
Yeah, or the underground radio stations. A lot of shit got spread through them.
Oh, exactly. Now, the 80s, I was still like young.
Right.
But I got an older brother who knows about the 80s shit because I was young. He's 5 years older than me.
Right. We and you the same age. So
I'm 48. Yeah. So
but I ain't start cousins.
Right. So me too. So I ain't start, getting my feet wet until like 94, 95.
Right. That's when we graduated high school.
Right. And I was just like, when I was introduced to the underground culture, you're right. There was no social media. You had to be in the know. You go to a bar.
You had to know the radio station.
Shorty was handing out flyers, and Shorty will hand out a flyer and be like, "What's this?" Turn the flyer around. There'd be a condom on it. Like, yo, come to this party. We were like, yo, You know, it was
Right,
mind
it
blowing.
shit, and even in the flyers, or it be hitting shit. You know, you got to tune into a radio station at a certain time. Or
Correct.
No.
I remember all of that shit was going on, man.
Oh man, it was
When we
fun
got
times. You had to be.
in the 90s, 94, 95. That shit
Yeah,
was more advanced.
you ever been to the tunnel back in the day? The tunnel.
Yeah, I've been to the tunnel,
Bro. Listen, let me tell y'all something. The tunnel was so thug. The bathrooms was co-ed. The bathrooms was co-ed. There was no male and female. The bathrooms was co-ed. The tunnel, the last thing done in the tunnel, DMX first video, where my dog's at, that was filmed in the tunnel. That's the tunnel. It was on the west side of Manhattan, on the west side.
Strip clubs that was on the end too.
Oh yeah.
A lot of the girls that was doing the private parties, they worked at the strip club.
Oh yeah, they would get the clientele in the tunnel and get to an after party. Absolutely.
Even in Jersey, like you remember Belly when they had the shootout at the club. That was in Irvington on Lyons Avenue, that club. And that was just one of them clubs that you had to be in the know.
Right.
You had to be in the know. You know. So people who was in the know peeped that from the movie, like, yo, I know what that club is. This in Irvington, you know.
I got a story.
In the movie, it was portrayed like that club was in Oklahoma or something. But when they filmed it, that was actually in Jersey. That was in Irvington.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I got on Lyons Avenue.
I got a story.
Lyons Avenue, right down from Stuyvesant.
I'm at the tunnel, right? And I was with some buddies who knew some fugazi people. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Right.
See, Almond, I ain't the only one to use that word.
I know.
Yeah.
So what word? I missed it.
Fugazi.
So I'm at the tunnel with some friends of friends. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
And we was by the tunnel, and it was a nice night. And Fat Joe pulls up with one or two of his boys, and they try to get in. Big old bouncer, he's like 6'9", big old fat dude, right? And he's like, yo, this for the capacity, you can't get in. So he's standing outside, and this is Fat Joe. You know what I'm saying? So he's standing outside, say, oh, look, there go Joe. Whatever. Car pulls up. Mike Tyson gets out the car.
Oh, Mike was wild back then.
Yeah. Mike Tyson gets out the car. And he goes, hey, Joe, what you doing outside, Joe? What you doing standing outside? And I'm standing up the block, like leaning on the car, and we hear it. We're like, what's going on over there? Yo, why are you standing outside, Joe? And he's like, I don't know. They won't let me in. They're saying it's filled up. Man, fuck that. We getting inside, Joe. Mike Tyson goes up to the bouncer. They have some words. Mike Tyson is chasing a 6'9" fat bouncer in between parked cars because he wouldn't let him in. And all I saw the dude was like, yo, chill, Mike, chill, Mike. And safe to say, Joe and Mike and his entourage got into the club. And it was like, yo, what you gonna do? Fight Mike Tyson? He was like out of prison at that time. He got out. You know what I'm saying? So I said, Joe tells that story. I was there. I saw it. When he told that story, it's on YouTube somewhere. I said, oh shit, I was there. He's chasing this bouncer in between parked cars. Niggas like, yo, chill, Mike, chill. And they got into the goddamn club. I was up the block like, oh snap. That's crazy. I remember that. Yeah, that's my Mike Tyson story. I remember that. The car pulled up, he got out. Yeah, Joe, what you doing outside? I was like, oh no, that's crazy. That was crazy. Mike was a wild boy, man.
Yeah, Mike was a wild
boy. Mike was a wild boy. But yo, listen, I gotta run. Yo, yo, pull up, bro. When I do that show about the I don't know what I'm gonna call the show yet, but the New York Underground. Pull up, man.
I'll do that. What's your channel name?
Painful Excellence Podcast. I'll put it in the chat.
All right. I think I'm subscribed to you.
Yeah, you wrenched up on my channel.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say I've
wrenched
heard
up.
that name plenty of times.
Yeah,
I'll
man.
be trying to
Yeah,
pull up. When you doing it?
yeah. I do it every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
I mean, the show you talk about right now. When you plan on doing it?
I might do it. You know what? I might do it Friday. I might
All
do
right,
it
I'll pull up.
Friday. Yeah. Pull up. That'll be great. That'll be great. Yeah. So because you know you got the same insight I got. You know what I'm saying? So that'll be dope.
Yeah, that
And
was
I
a
don't know.
different time, man. Growing up in the tri-state
Yeah,
in the late '80s and the early '90s, like we did, that was different. You know.
it was. And I wasn't too familiar with the Jersey side of things, so I would definitely want some insight on that.
Yeah, I got stories. Damn sure got stories.
No doubt, good brother. So I'm back in the chat. I'm gonna finish this workout. Yo, Almondeyez, salute to you, sis. Thank you for having me on. All right, y'all. I'll talk to you.
Thanks.
All right, man. Peace.
Peace.
That's my boy. Listen, y'all. Hold on. Okay, B. You was in here with me when I was watching this from earlier. My bad, y'all. But what's your take on these girls trips? Is it? Let me ask you this: if it was presented and called something else, like we just going to get away for the weekend, would that? I mean, would that make it more palatable? Even if it was the same thing, you know, they get together to go home. I mean, they just came and been like, you know what? Yeah, we just, you know.
Well, like they played the clip of Andrew Tate speaking earlier. I
For the
agree
weekend,
with
we
Andrew
going, you know,
Tate.
to such.
And I mean, they're doing it for the specific purpose of hoeing. That's why they're doing it. And again, like we was talking earlier, that started in the 90s. Before then, you didn't hear of like our aunties and our mamas and them and older women going on girls trips. That really started manifesting in the late 90s, early 2000s, and it was for the purpose of hoeing. Whether they were married or single, it doesn't matter. That's what they were doing it for. And we need to be honest and call it what it is, you know? Because there's a whole industry that was developed around it. That never happened with the men. That only happened with the women. Now, white men were doing it, like the Weinsteins and whatever. They had, you know, they would traffic women to the island and shit, a private island. But black men never had that power. But black women were doing it, and that was the sex tourism with the sip and suck parties or whatever you want to call them. And a lot of times they was having sex with underage boys. And that's a big part of it that doesn't get mentioned. You know, we talk about like they're going to hook up with grown men. No, they hooking up with guys in Jamaican boys in high school. That's what they were.
I just don't understand that. Like, what? You're a grown woman. Your shit already used, you had kids and all of that. What the fuck is the high school?
Well, but you got to remember, men always have that fetish of sleeping with a teacher or older women.
Well, I'm talking about for the women. Your shit already used up and stretched out. What the fuck is this little kid doing for you?
Well, but that's what they want. They want the young boys because the young boys have that fetish. Whereas the older men aren't really interested in them, but the younger men are. Okay. Especially the foreign younger men, they want to brag about it, like your boy pointed out a minute ago. They want to be able to brag about, oh yeah, I slept with that I slept with that American woman, you know, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. They don't want to brag about sleeping with no American girl. They want to brag about it sleeping with an American woman. That was the thing. It still is a thing. High school boys always want to be able to brag that they smashed a teacher or somebody mama or somebody their mama age. That is a thing. And older women got the money. They pay
That's
it.
what I
They
was going
get
to say. I
paid
thought it
these
was
boys. These boys is getting paid.
about the money.
Yes, it ain't all about the money, but that's part of it. I'ma smash your mama,
Uh-huh.
and your mama gonna pay me $100. What the hell is $100 in Jamaica? Like 500? I'ma let your mama sick my duck. If you get what my meaning, I'ma let your mama sick my duck, and she gonna give me $500. That ain't
Yeah,
happening over here in America.
that's a win for him.
So a lot of this stuff ain't new, but like I said, people get on these panels and they actually admit, I don't have any experience at this. I don't fly. I don't travel. So why the fuck are you on a panel? You don't know what you're talking about. You have no insight into this topic. But it's become common to pre-create the panels. Remember, the panels used to be formed organically from whoever was in the chat or whoever popped up.
Mm-hmm.
Now the popular thing
Right.
is to
Mm-hmm.
have a predetermined panel of people you already know, and even regardless of whether those people have insight into a particular topic or not. They just get up there and talk, even though they just admitted, I don't know what I'm talking about. That ain't my experience. Then why you talking about it? I mean, even when I was on Dennis Sperling's panel that night, we had a couple of young white boys get on the panel talking about Freaknik. I'm like, it was very few white people at Freaknik, because Freaknik was started through the black colleges, through the HBCUs. So that wasn't a thing that white people really didn't catch on until the tail end. And even then, it was only a few of them. So why are you, as Mr. White Man,
Right.
or Mr. White Woman now, up here on the panel and we talking about this kind of stuff? It's not your history. But that's what's going on. We allow people, black or white, to talk about topics they really don't have any insight into.
Well, see, doesn't that come? It doesn't. Isn't that a consequence of not vetting?
No, I don't think you. I mean, vetting is something different. I mean, we like to use that word. I mean, but when you pre-forming a panel, you should be pre-forming a panel with the intention that the topics are geared towards those panel members. But that's not what they're doing. They're just picking a topic, and they already got a panel before they pick the topic. And I'm just gonna throw every topic that comes into my mind by these same group of people, and it just become a redundant and stupid almost. That's what it's becoming.
So I think what you said. So on the first, this might be risky. There was only one pre-picked person. Everybody else was. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't see that one.
Right.
I'm just speaking in
now,
general.
now the second one, Black Man Unfiltered, it'd be the same people every week. But what he does, what I would do is, he's got different people on to speak to different stuff, but then he lets everybody speak to everything. So,
well, I think people should just be honest
somebody
and
up there
say, or not speak on topics they don't know about in that circumstance.
I ain't gonna do that.
You know, because Freaknik was a southeastern thing. So if you're from the West Coast, you really don't know about Freaknik.
You don't know nothing about Freaknik.
You know, and if you know you from California or the Midwest, you shouldn't be talking about Freaknik. Why? But some people like to hear themselves talk.
Yeah, unless you actually
and they want to
win,
speak on
know how you
everything.
got
They gotta have something to say, even though they know they're really not offering anything to the conversation. And if you see these people on enough panels, They start repeating themselves. They got standard things that they say over and over that has nothing. That's the Dyson words I said earlier. Just standard words that you say over and over just so you can hear yourself talk. That's what Michael Dyson used to do on MSNBC. No matter what the topic was about, he would say certain shit over and over and over again. Like, what relevance does that have? None. Like, we on the panel talking about NBA. Why you gotta bring up Dallas Cowboys every single time? You know, that kind of thing. You're not really an NBA person. You're more of a football person, and we know Dallas is your team. But we're not talking about football now. Football is over. We're talking about basketball. Why are you bringing up Dallas?
Yeah.
And that's what they do. They do that over and over. And it's just, at some point, we're going to make it through this where people are going to, people following you are going to start to complain like, okay, enough is enough.
Mm-hmm.
This person every single time says this thing. They have their own preconceived notions or preconceived talking points they want to talk about. No matter what the topic is, they find a way to slip those things into the conversation. Or they find a way to argue with somebody to make themselves relevant on the panel.
That took place on This Might Be Risky. That happens over there a lot.
It happens on a lot of panels. It's a format. It's become a format.
There was this one dude. He was getting straight.
And I've been around.
I might have to find it. He was getting straight roasted. Is what?
Frustrating just to see it over and over and over again on different channels. The same exact format ends up forming. Mm-hmm. And when they run out of content, they go back to the basics. Oh, let me pull up a Kendra G video and we're gonna review that. How many times have you seen that on a panel? Why are we reviewing some quality content? Why are we reviewing what Dennis Sperling said? Why aren't we reviewing what Dr. Hassan said? Why aren't we reviewing the important things? We always go back to the debauchery.
Well, it's a lot of content creators don't even know who they are.
Exactly, that's my point. That's my point. But yet we all supposed to be fixing the black community, quote unquote. But how is talking about Kendra G or Tasha K fixing the community? It doesn't. It's just clickbait.
Yeah.
And that's why they bring certain people on their panels that really have nothing to say. They're not old enough to really be talking about what they're talking about. They try to pretend like they're older than what they are. But when you ask a specific question about how old they are, they 33. You know, that kind of thing. And like you talking about shit you really don't know about. Or you only been married 2 years, or that kind, you ain't really talking about nothing.
Okay. So let me drop the link in case anybody else want to come up. I got some questions. So in both streams, there was of course resistance by men. It's always the single men to be the loudest, but whatever. And the consensus was, you're saying, I take care of you, I'm paying all the bills, I make all the rules, you just need to do what I say. Why?
Then I call bullshit on that right there.
Well, wait, I ain't even got to the question yet.
I know, before you even go any further, I'm calling bullshit already on that statement that men, and I hear him say it too. I'm paying all the bills. You ain't in a relationship. You ain't been in a relationship. So what fucking bills are you paying for a woman? I'll wait. And where's she at? Where's she at right now? This imaginary woman that you paying all of the bills for. Where's she at? And most black women wouldn't have a problem with that. If you get a man that's paying all your bills, you gonna let him get away with some shit. Where you ain't gotta go to work and he paying all of the bills, you gonna let him get away with some shit. Just so you can maintain that lifestyle. But go ahead and finish your question.
Okay, so my question for the men: why do y'all feel as long as you pay the bills, that's all you gotta do?
Because women created that narrative. It didn't come from men, it came from women.
Okay.
So in the 80s with the RSPSPT, find out what it means to me and all of them songs and scrubs and all of that shit that got created in the culture. Men, you got some men out here who buy into it, even though very few of them actually did it or could afford it.
So what Mona say, they want us to believe that people don't or won't listen to informative discussions, but it's not.
It's just a narrative that got created.
Gossip, which takes the
that's not based in reality.
Exactly.
I mean, we know reality says today the average black man makes 45, the average black woman makes 36. So a man making $45,000 a year ain't got you balling out of control when you don't have to work. That's a rare man. That's a rare. My mom had 4 sisters. Only one of them in my lifetime actually had that lifestyle. And her husband was a PhD engineer for AT&T. Very rare man. But that's a narrative we all know is false, but it keeps getting perpetrated as if it's true. There's not a large percentage of, we know less than 1% of black men make over $100,000 a year. So we talking about 99% of the other men can't do this. They can't do it. It's not possible. So I call bullshit on these niggas who like to get on YouTube talking about I pay all of the bills and this, and my woman ain't got to do this. Where is she then? And then when you pull the layers back, most of the time they single, and they have been single for a long period of time. That's the facts.
Okay. Okay. So let me ask you this, because this is another thing I'm saying. Do men realize that just paying bills and doing nothing else is not enough for a woman to be satisfied or content? Or
no,
that's
they
not
don't
enough?
realize it because it's a false narrative.
Okay.
They don't realize it because they've never done it. They've never seen another man who did it. And usually, if they did run across a man who could do that, they hated that nigga. They resented him. They didn't respect him. They hated on him. My Uncle Milt was that dude, and all my other uncles couldn't stand him. They was jealous of him. Because they lived in a lily white town and he could buy 2 cars at one time, never heard it for no money. So my other uncles, they hated him because they couldn't keep up with him. They couldn't compete with him. When I was that dude, I'm a store manager at Radio Shack. I'm an area supervisor at McDonald's. I'm #1 sales at this company. It wasn't no other black dudes with me. It was me. Year after year after year, who was #1 in sales, who was doing what I was doing. So I had friends, but my friends wasn't living like I was living. Nene didn't work most of the time. Out of the 20 years, she might have only worked 6 and not 6 in a row. So Nene, for the most part, was a stay-at-home wife. But All of her friends, her sisters, everybody she knew, all of them bitches had to work. Needy didn't have to work. She'd take a little part-time job here and there for a little while.
Mhm.
But most of the time she didn't have to work. And the men, her sisters, boyfriends, all them niggas resented me. Because my kids never went without. You know, Nene never went without. We always had nice things. We always lived in nice areas. Her sisters wasn't living with us where we lived. They lived in the hood.
Mhm.
In some small town.
That's weird.
Monroe,
Like,
Albemarle. We was living on where? Off about Holly Huntersville, when
mhm.
black people really wasn't living out there on a cul-de-sac.
True.
Hell, David Walker was my neighbor. David Walker lived around the corner from me. We lived in the same neighborhood.
Mhm.
Nobody else from the job who lived in my neighborhood
That's true.
besides me and David.
Mhm.
My neighbors who was black, they worked at places like Duke Energy or TIA, TIAA kind of, they had
Right.
solid careers, but it's all talk. Most of it, when you peel the layers back, it's all talk. Or as Death Note would say, you start doxing people, you start finding out the bullshit.
Listen. Okay. So, do men realize that? Okay. So, this kind of the same question, but I'm gonna give you more context. If you are a dude, let's say you got a woman. Let's say you got a wife, and you are in fact paying all the bills. But in order for you to do that, you are literally never around. So you not around, she's not getting any time. Then when you do find some time, you don't want to go nowhere because you're tired.
That was me.
Um, hmm?
That was me.
Then you got nerve to be like, yeah, no, you can't go, you can't go on no trips. Um,
Well, go ahead, ask your question.
at some point, with people being who they are today, and most people ain't shit, you do realize she ain't really, while you doing all that working, she could be fucking.
Well, I don't even think
She
that's
ain't got the she ain't got the she ain't got the lead she ain't got the she ain't got to leave the damn house. If we gonna be for real. She ain't got to go overseas. She ain't got to leave the country. She ain't got to leave the state. She ain't even got to leave the damn house. Soon as your ass leave out the front, she can have this nigga come in the back. So I'm just confused about why men, well, this new phenomenon that women got to go away to cheat on you. When that start? Because I've
well,
seen
they're
people
just now
be in the house
discovering it.
and everybody in the den and they find their way to the laundry room.
Well, like I said, they don't
What's the
have
deal?
the experience that they claim to have. As me and your boy pointed out earlier, this shit has been going on for 30 years minimum. So it ain't nothing new. But niggas is naive and they lie to themselves. I said that on my channel earlier today. The first person they lie to is they self. And it ain't my girl, it ain't my girl, and they get in their feelings when they find out it is their girl. If they ever find out, or they find out that them kids really ain't their kids. Hell, Maury made a whole fucking career out of it.
Career out of that shit. A second career. Because that was not where he originally came from.
Right?
Right.
So
Exactly, mother. A hoe is gonna hold regardless.
exactly. It's gonna,
But my
and the
thing
more a
is, as
man
a man,
works,
you got to realize you can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't not give a woman something. Just paying the bills and her not having is not enough if you're not giving her anything
well, she
mentally,
always
you're
gonna
not giving
want
her anything
something
emotionally,
else.
you're not giving her anything physically. Like you literally all you doing is paying bills, but she had her bills paid before she got with you. So clearly she with you because she wanted to be with you, but now you ain't giving her nothing that she need to
Or
be
she may
able
have
to
got what you
sustain what's
just
going
said.
on, and then you mad at her because she like this ain't enough.
Well, it could be that was her plan to begin with. She married a certain dude because he was financially stable. But she always had the intention on getting with the dude. That's what polyandry is. Women always have compartmentalized men. So they get men for different reasons. They'll have a dude that they talk to on the phone. They get the attention from. They'll have the work husband. They'll have the dude that comes through the maintenance man, so to speak. And they'll have the financial sugar daddy kind of guy. Sometimes they marry the sugar daddy, but they don't get rid of the other dudes. That's always been going on.
That's a lot of work.
Always. But she may not be fucking all of them. She may only be fucking one of them. And that might not be her husband. And that's what leads to a lot of sexualist marriages. Because she done got her sexual attention already while old boy was at work. So when old boy comes home, she don't feel, she ain't in the mood. That's been going on forever. But because these people who are talking about it, they don't know history. They themselves have never been in a relationship. So they lie or they front. Fugazi.
So there was another point on the first stream where the guy was like, basically, if she don't go on no girls trips, that's gonna, you're saying, that's gonna mitigate the risk of her cheating on me. And we like, nigga, you stupid, because you ain't gotta leave the country and go on no girls trip to cheat.
Well, like I've said before, men got to stop kidding themselves that they can control what a woman does, especially in today's world. You can't control shit. She gonna do what she want to do. And when we talk about vetting, you can't just vet the woman. You better start looking at a mama. You better start looking at a grandmama. Because the fruit don't fall too far from the tree.
Exactly, Mona. She gonna cheat regardless if that's her MO.
Exactly. That's my point. Now, the young lady said on earlier's panel, something real similar to what I just said, and I agreed with her when she said it. It's basically they're gonna do what they want to do, which is what Mona D. Hey, Mona. What Mona D just said in the chat. They're gonna do what they want to do, and sometimes it's by design. And I use my own marriage for that as an example. Nene didn't get with me because I was who she wanted. I was the most financially successful of who she had available to her. So that's why I was the one she chose to marry and have kids with. But even though she had somebody else in mind that she wanted to be with and not me, I wasn't her first choice. Steve was her first choice. It is what it is. So I spent the first 12 years of the marriage not even aware of this. Not even aware of this thing was happening. And so I'm basically chasing a ghost. Because she would say little things on, you ain't no real man. And I'm like, well, who the fuck is? Because I know all of the men in your life, so I thought. I know I'm better than them niggas. So who is this man that you got in mind that I ain't better than? You know? Even though I was better than Steve, but in her mind, you know.
Yeah. I just lost my train of thought.
Read your comment. Didn't you have a comment a minute ago?
I had a few.
Yeah,
what Mona said, she said money is not the equalizer for a solid woman. She has to be a solid woman, or the man conceives that she's a temp and getting her needs.
Yeah, especially in today's world where a man can be separated from his money easily. So you don't even need the man to get access to his money. So most definitely that's true, Mona. Most definitely. But you got men who really ain't got money, or they just starting to make a little bit of money, so they ain't used to having it. So they think because they've reached a certain threshold, women are automatically supposed to behave a certain way now that they're at that threshold. Excuse me. And those same men get frustrated now when the women are responding that way because it's a different world. This ain't your granddaddy's world no more. This ain't granddaddy's world. Where then granddaddy could hold money over grandma's head to a certain extent, you know, prior to 1969. Now we got no fault divorce. So a woman can divorce you for any reason and take your money. Have you paying child support and alimony.
True.
And now we got something new. Even with the prenuptial, they done found a way to beat that with the lawsuits.
Yeah, with the I didn't get to read it or sign it under duress, all that bullshit. Men, let me ask y'all something. Because it was another thing that came up in the stream that I've heard a couple times before that's been bothering me. Why do y'all not want to concede it's more than one way to say something? This whole do what the fuck I say or get the fuck out. I don't give a fuck about losing you. The first out of words and in that mentality. You got to know when you coming with that type of smoke, with that kind of energy, you automatically gonna be met with resistance if that's how you coming.
It's not a y'all thing. What you're talking about is
talk about men.
It's not a y'all thing for men. There's a very small percentage of men who think that way. And most of the time, those sucker MCs don't have no experience with women. That's the truth of the matter. So again, they just started making a little bit of money and they think they're entitled or they deserve a certain behavior from women because now they're making 75,000 or whatever, which is rare. I don't even think they're making that, but they're lying to themselves. And this is why they don't have any women, because ain't no woman putting up with that bullshit no matter how much money you got. We see women divorcing millionaires. So they little punk ass check think they doing something. You ain't even got this woman living in no mansion. You got her living in an old ass house where shit is falling apart. Stop the cap. Stop.
They do that like it's no in between. My thing is you paying some damn bills, but again, I was a home before I got with you, and then you're saying you ain't never around. You then when you there, you're saying you downstairs, I'm upstairs, and you like fuck it. I ain't really gotta see you. I just need to know you in the damn house. Then you can't go. So somebody said about trying to go somewhere and see some. Oh, I'm tired. I don't want to do all of that. I work. I got to get some rest. You know what I'm saying? I got to work. You know what I'm saying? Work to provide for you. That bullshit. Well, you can't have a conversation.
I think we got to stop.
You can't go to the movie. You can't go to dinner. You can't take no road trip. You can't do nothing. But then you screaming and holler about it. If you don't like it, get the fuck out. And then when a motherfucker leave, you like what?
I think we got to stop addressing bullshit and start identifying bullshit for what it is bullshit, and it doesn't deserve conversation.
These motherfuckers, so like this is if
this guy you're thinking of right now had that in place before, what happened? Why didn't it work? Why didn't it work? Tell me about the last woman you had in that situation, since this is your norm, this is your standard, sir. What happened to the last woman you tried to run that shit on? And they ain't gonna have no answer for you. Because it's bullshit.
They was going to fuck off on damn panel.
But we gotta start identifying shit as bullshit and calling it out. Don't even give it no conversation. Don't even let it affect you. Let that shit roll off.
Funny though, so they was on there doing all that tough talking and all that bullshit, and then the married man was like, was like, I had the same conversation, but I didn't say it like that. I said it like this, and we ain't had no problem. They was like, nah, fuck it, I'm gonna keep saying it like this.
Because you answering your own question. The married man has experience with a woman, and the other guy doesn't. That's the difference.
Blaze, when I tell you that motherfucker was yelling and hollering and screaming, it was like one point where one dude was just going in on this.
It's not normal for men to throw.
He was going.
It's not normal for men to throw temper tantrums. So when you see men doing that, you know there's some trauma there from their mamas, their sisters, their aunties, ex-wife or ex-girlfriend. They're misrepresenting the bullshit. They want to be a victim and a hero at the same time. You can't be both. So either you was Mr. Tough Guy with your last woman and you got rid of her because for whatever reason, or she got tired of putting up with the bullshit you tried to run on her and she said, fuck no. But we got to stop taking so much airtime to address bullshit. We know it ain't, you're not that dude. You could look at most of these dudes and tell. You look like somebody's pastor in some small ass church or somebody deacon, and you know you got that voice, and that's what people like hearing. But we know you full of shit. We know the dude ain't no top-notch dude. We know realistically he's below average. We know this. So call it for what it is. You're a below average dude, and you've gotten below average results all your life, and you're upset and you want to take it out on somebody. Point blank.
Okay. So yeah, Blaze, this was this afternoon. That whole yelling and screaming, you gonna do what the fuck I said, you gonna get the fuck out, all that bullshit, that was this afternoon, and this might be risky. I was like, okay, I keep fucking hearing that, but then y'all motherfuckers steady be on here talking about trying to find somebody. So I'm like, which is it? You cool with the minute this chick don't want to do what you want her to do because you ain't really laid the shit out well, or it wasn't what you said it was gonna be in the beginning, or she ain't in agreement with them turning her fucking life off because you fucking tired. Then it's y'all saying get the fuck out. You ain't trying to be on my program. And then my thing is, if you on everybody panel every time somebody turn around, like it's what 1 o'clock in the morning, and this motherfucker been on 4 panels I know of today. Yep. Well, the day before. When the fuck is you out here finding these women that they ain't getting on your program?
Well, you be answering. Let me give you some personal advice. And I normally don't do this, but I'm gonna do this because other people who are listening and they can put a 1 in the chat if I'm on to something, right? I think your dilemma is coming not from y'all men. I think it's coming from a specific man.
No. Okay, hold up, baby. No, this is not. This ain't. No, this is a whole different dude. No, I'm talking about this shit from the day. This ain't got nothing to do with what we talking.
Just listen.
About earlier. This a whole different dude.
I understand, but I still think it's the same thing. And you got to learn. You know it's bullshit. Move on. You know it's bullshit. Stop addressing it. Whether you got reminded of it from another group of men or you thought backwards, it's bullshit either way. Because these type of dudes, they find each other. Because they're not going to get around no real men.
I mean, I was shocked at this particular dude. I didn't think he was on this type of time.
They find each other. So you may not see it, and this is the difference between men and women. Women have insight. Men have foresight. And you're not going to see it right away. But a lot of times, I see the shit right away. I'm like, all of these niggas is full. Because they stories. They have real stories to tell. It's always some fairy tale, make believe, magical woman. And if they had that woman in the past, why couldn't they keep her for any significant period of time? That's my
Definitely. I might need you to dox this motherfucker right here. Cause when I tell you I was not ready for that shit this afternoon, I was not fucking ready for that shit this afternoon. I was like, this motherfucker.
But I have no interest in doxing them.
Yo, I
I'd
might need
rather
what you said.
ignore them because they're fugazi. They full of shit.
Thank you, Blaze. You can get your point across without coming off like a dictator. Majority of the time, it's not. And that was the point I was trying to make, and that was the point that one of the other gentlemen on the panel made. He was like, "Look, I had this same conversation with my wife, but I didn't go about it like that. This is what I said, and we ain't had no problems."
And I could tell how they react to me when I come in their chats, and I always have they're women in those guys' chats. It's always some woman on their panel who tries to take a shot at me, and I don't even know the woman. Or I have
Hey, Nitro. Yeah, no. This particular guy that I'm talking about has never been on my show at all.
No, I'm just saying in general.
No, I'm answering the question. It's a comment. No, he asked me, has this guy been on my show before? No, he ain't never been. He ain't never been on my show. We've never been on a panel together. This is on a
somebody asked that question.
Show that I saw this afternoon. Yeah.
Who asked the question?
Night Train. Why is it night?
Who?
Night Train.
Why are you whispering it?
I'm not whispering.
Your voice went lower when you said the name.
Yeah, no, he asked why you was talking. He asked it. I was like, no. He asked me, he's never been on here.
What difference does it make? Who cares? We got to stop. The reason I'm saying it like that, and that's what I said. What I said a minute ago. We got to stop giving these type of dudes so much attention. Just ignore them. Just ignore these dudes. They clowns. And all they're doing is proving themselves to be clowns. I mean, it's sad. And it's disgusting at this point. And again, it's the same format, show after show. I see so many different channels jump off, and they'll get a little bit of attention for a little while, and then they start to fizzle. I mean, we can go back to the Lapeef networks, the Fight Clubs. I mean, the JVJ networks. I mean, I've seen it over and over and over. I mean, I just hate name calling. I don't have a problem with name calling, but I hate doing it because the fake beef shit. And then they get in their little groups and they talk privately. And that's where the girls, they see my name and they want to take a shot at me. I don't know. Some of these people, I don't even know them. Never heard them, don't know their names. But they so keyed in they on a panel and they're so keyed in to what I say in the chat. And that tells me somebody been mentioning my name because they always want to pretend like they don't know who I am. You just got finished saying my name. And now 5 minutes later, you don't know who I am. It's too funny. You can't, it's comical. You can't even make this shit up. So that's why I just stop addressing the person. Like, if you ain't gonna bring me up where I could defend myself, then there ain't no point. Ain't no point in me going back and forth. Because I'm in the chat and you on a panel. You could politely, since you're the co-host, politely ask somebody, hey, could you step down for a minute so I could bring this person up? Especially since people on the panel ain't spoken an hour. They ain't said shit anyway. But it's the same thing. And these dudes are acting like the girls that they always got on their panels. They're bitchy. They act like fucking females. These make-believe people that they've dealt with that they ain't got no history of dealing with. Somebody said on the panel today, they're locked down all of a sudden. Ain't that new? Wait a minute, ain't you still married? Ain't that funny? So how we go from being married to now you locked down? The fuck out of here. But they think
To answer your question, Blaze, yes, we talked. Yeah, this was on. This might be risky from earlier today. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah. When I heard that shit, I was like, when the fuck did this happen? But I was
because
like, let
it's
me
a
mind my
lie.
business. Let me mind my business. Let me mind my
But
business.
yeah, you still got enough time to foster a new relationship, raise your black son, and take care of this new man you just got, and still be on everybody panel. The fuck out of here. The fuck out of here.
Yeah, I mean, it was some comedy going on that damn stream.
But we
It was
act
some
like we don't hear this.
comedy.
I ain't been on a panel in about 2 weeks, and it's the same exact shit as when I left 2 weeks ago. Almost word for word, some of these people get right on these panels and say the same shit. Same shit. And I'm like, don't y'all get tired of this person you got on every fucking panel you do? You ain't hearing them repeat the same shit. No matter what the subject is, they got to say certain things. Unbelievable. It's unfucking believable. But they get on the internet and reinvent themselves. Because these people don't know each other in person. Most of them. They only know each other through these bullshit panels that they just started creating in the last year. Not even a year, the last 6 months. But they give people so much credibility. You got to prove some real world shit to me. They ain't even got real world examples. Me and your man was talking earlier. He knew I was real by the shit I was saying. I gave him real examples and he identified with that. Like, yo, I ain't met nobody who knew what I was talking about. What'd he say? Like, it feel good to know somebody's on.
Hang on, B. Hang on for a minute. What's going on, Kofa? Are you where you need to be, sir? You okay? You have safe travels? Let me know. Yeah, Drew.
Where the hell Kofa traveling to?
He Cartagena.
Wait a minute, he could get all the way the fuck down there, but can't come to Charlotte, man.
But he ain't the only one can't find. He the only one can't find their way. He not the only one can't find their way to Charlotte. So let that ride.
Yeah, but he in Atlanta, man. But nah, brother, I'm fucking with you, man. I hope you had a safe trip down there. You know, and we know Kofa got cartel connections. You know, he got to go down there every so often. You know,
I know, right?
Handle that business. You know,
as long as he bring me something cool back, we all right. We good.
You caught up on all your comments?
Yeah, hold on. We say, but there's some Night Train said some real talks on the panel. Yo, when I tell you, yeah, I might have to fire it up real quick because it got real. It got real over there. We might have to pull it up real quick. Hold on, the prophet say, I'm good supposed to say, okay. Y'all little brother have some peace. Okay, long as you have safe travels, ain't nothing. We good. We good.
Yeah, brother. We want to make sure you get home safe. You know.
He just got over there.
Yeah, enjoy yourself and then come home safe, man. That's
it.
Bring
me back and bring me something cool. Yeah. Yeah. It got real because it took a whole turn. I was like,
it's drama and it's bullshit. Never have I seen a group of men talk and it's always some kind of fucking drama. That's why they bring the women on the panels so they can create that drama. They like to perform in front of women.
The woman was on first, and she left, and then when it got to the men,
that's what I'm saying.
Shit went to the damn left.
Even when the women ain't causing the drama,
men, like what the hell really going on?
They like to perform knowing women might watch.
You know, let me get it together, Blake. Yeah, let me get that together. Jeff, no. How you doing, sir?
God's gift is in the house.
Of course, I've been here for a while. Listening.
God's motherfucking gift.
Yeah, no, sir.
Definitely. Ladies and gentlemen, God's gift is in the house.
I would, yeah, I would like to, yeah. Girls trip. I'm going back to that. Is there a problem with a group of women who you know and you are, I'm going to say 98.5% certain they are going for the purpose that they tell you they're going for, going on the trip?
You asking me if I'm okay with a girl's trip?
Yeah. Okay. So let's say you got a girlfriend, no, a fiance. I'm gonna give it a little more credence than that. And she come to you and she like, me, my cradle to the crib, you know what I'm saying, bestie, my sister, and her bestie. We going to the mountains for the weekend. Is this a problem?
Yeah, that ain't happening.
Okay.
And
Because
that's
a
what I was
lot
trying
of
to say earlier. The young lady said on the other channel, you should work all of this out ahead of time.
Mhm.
And it is what it is. Certain shit should be, and not just with girl strips, but whatever things is an automatic red flag for you or automatic ejection, that should be discussed early on in a relationship before you try to marry that person.
Yeah, the biggest thing that I'm stuck on is when you made the comments earlier when you were saying, you know, that this guy is going out, he's working all day, and then when he come home, he don't want to do nothing and all that good stuff.
You don't want to
Honestly,
do shit. Ain't got no passport. Don't like nothing. But you supposed to just sit there and stare at the. I'm like, I need a goddamn boyfriend. If all of that shit gonna be going on, and you want me to cut? I'm gonna need a motherfucking boyfriend.
well, here's one thing, right?
Folks, they didn't take too kindly to that shit. But listen, you gotta put something out to get something in.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, right? And we're gonna talk like longevity here. And I get that, you know, a lot of times, most times actually, in relationships, the women get bored. It is what it is. Doesn't matter if you're working or not working or whatever you're doing, women get bored. As a man, you typically do make some concessions and say, okay, we're gonna have a movie night or we're gonna have a dinner date occasionally and so on and so forth. But when you're working all day every day, you don't necessarily want to obviously go out and just do, especially if you have a wife that stays at home. It's a little bit more difficult. The issue with the whole thing is that they didn't have that conversation in the beginning.
Exactly.
So my whole point is what I do is I say, okay, well, I'm going to set aside time. We're going to take vacation, but we're going to take vacation together. We're going to go see the sights. We're going to go explore. We're going to go and do all these different things. As far as a girls trip, there wouldn't be any girls trips. Simply because obviously we would have the conversation before we got to the point of getting together or married and so on and so forth. And speaking on how I actually feel about it. When people are in groups, they typically are influenced. And what I find is that there's a lot of women even women who are perceived as good women who get put into situations simply because everybody else is doing it, and they'll follow along, or they'll pretty much keep their mouth shut about some of the things that are happening. Whereas with dudes, I've seen it left and right, where, you know, you go to the strip club, you go all these different places, whatever the case may be. And those dudes who have wives and stuff like that, they come to chill, they'll drink a drink or whatever the case may be, but they don't get no dances. They ain't talking to no chick. They ain't doing shit. Literally, they're like, man, I got to go home. I'm just here to hang out with y'all. Like, literally, that's how it is. And the problem, and the thing about it is that when a man is about his purpose, he's not necessarily going to be following others and so on and so forth. He's going to know that he's blazing his own path and he has a family to worry about. He's not going to jeopardize it. And especially if that man loves his wife, usually if you go through the point of giving a woman your last name and taking on all the risk of possibly losing all your assets and everything else, most men, especially most men who are about their business, aren't going to fuck that up. And this is why I say that it's a little bit different from guys going out and saying, hey, we're going to go to Vegas, or we're going to do this and we're going to do that. If you believe that your man was going to do something, whatever the case may be, then likely he was the type of person to do it to begin with. Because the way you do some things is the way you do all things, with the exception of when it comes to a lot of women. I've seen women who you would think were good and all this other stuff get coerced by the one single friend. Now, what I can say is that, you know what I'm saying, if you guys are doing something local or whatever the case may be, then I have no problem with it. I know you made mention earlier saying something that like, why do men have a problem with their women going away when when a chick can just cheat at home? The difference is there's a lot more to risk at home. He goes to work and you trying to bring a dude over. There could be cameras at the house. There's obviously neighbors. There's people in your city and so on and so forth who have seen your car and all this other stuff. The chances of it getting back to him are a lot greater. So a lot of women, knowing that they might have something to lose, wouldn't do it. Guys who cheat, obviously they don't care whether they're far apart or right there in the house or even driving your car, because that's what they do. But again, if you're away from home, you don't know anybody, nobody knows you, especially if it's not going to end up on social media, you're going to be more inclined to do something. That's why going off on a trip is far different than, you know, you saying, oh, if she's going to cheat on you, she'll cheat on you at home. It's a bit different.
Okay.
My thing is this, man. And I said this to Tangi because she got on that girls trip shit. You want to be in a relationship or you want to be single? You can't be both. You can't do both. Pick one. Going about my business. But again, that's boundaries you got to establish early on in the relationship.
Okay, so again, now I understand having the conversation, but I mean, let's be realistic. What woman who, you know what I'm saying, was able to take care of herself, you know what I'm saying, had, you know what I'm saying, a halfway decent social life, you know, was well, you know what I'm saying, cultured, is gonna agree to give all of that up to come watch the fucking paint down, watch the fucking paint chip off the fucking walls of your house. Who coming to do that
Why
shit?
is that woman
No hopes and no fucking prospects of going nowhere and doing nothing.
Why is that woman trying to be in a relationship then?
Hold on, I think that we're hearing extremes here. It's kind of like the same extreme.
That's what I'm saying. What man is going to be able to present that to a woman?
No, why does a man have to present anything? If a woman wants to
operate, hold on, Israel, hold on. My whole thing is this, right? You talking about these extremes, right? It's just like it's just like a person saying, oh, okay, well, if I'm gonna date a woman or whatever the case may be, then she's either gonna be most guys are either looking for people who are super thoughts, or, you know what I'm saying, they're just gonna be barefoot and pregnant and sit in the same room all day. Like, you're talking about extremes and while ignoring a reality. No, they're unless they're a cornball, there's no dude talking about, oh, we want you to just stay in the house all day. Honestly, as long as the things that I would like done, the things that I would like to be done, the things that would help me and assist me, as far as the things that I think that are, you know what I'm saying, the tasks that I can do, but obviously they're a bit menial to me. For instance, if I'm working all day and everything and I'm getting everything done, then it feels great to come home and have a plate ready for me, you know, stuff like that. Now, mind you, I don't obviously be out and about like that, but if I was going for 8 hours a day, during that 8 hours, I don't give a damn what you do. Most times when you clean a house, whatever the case may be, unless your house is dirty as hell all the time, most times when you clean a house, you only got to do an hour at max of just, you know what I'm saying, tidying up. You might make a bed and throw a load of laundry in. Literally, you throw the load of laundry in, you walk off, you go do your thing. You can go shopping, you can do whatever. And then if you know, hey, okay, well, he's going to be at home at 5 and I left after putting a load of laundry in at 9, 10, whatever the case may be, then you got all this time to pretty much fuck off and do whatever you want to do. You can go, you know, go to brunch with your girls, drink mimosas, do all this other stuff. Literally, there's so much you can do. All most of these men are saying is that they want to be treated like men, whatever the case may be, and they want to receive something for what they're given. But what you're talking about right now is not that guy who's looking for equivalent exchange. You're talking about that guy who's looking to be a dictator. And those are the guys who are the cornballs who are saying, oh, well, if she didn't. Now, I do believe that if a woman is not going to be on your game plan, then that's not the woman you need to be with. A lot of these guys say it as though they say these things to these women, like saying, oh, well, if you're not going to get on my game plan, then fuck off or whatever. Not. Again, cornballs. Most guys, if you're not getting on their game plan, if you're not following what they need you to do, they're not going to say, oh, you're not getting on my game plan, this and that. All they're going to do is say, hey, listen, maybe this is not going to work out for us. This is what I was expecting. And so on and so forth. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, we can try an alternative or look for an alternative, whatever the case may be. Or we can go our separate ways. You know what I'm saying? That's how they're going to break it down. They're not going to do this cornball shit. Oh, I expect this. I expect that. Just like what do you bring to the table? There's any guy worth his salt is not going around asking a woman what she's going to bring to the table. Why? Because they can see it. When they talk to this woman, through their vetting process, they're able to see what kind of mentality she has, what kind of, you know what I'm saying, education she has. I mean, you can see everything about these women if you're properly vetting these women. So you shouldn't have to ask that question. So I think that right now we keep mixing up cornballs and using the definition that cornballs have put out there and applying it to everybody, whereas that is not reality. Like, we're talking about this subsect of men who wish they had something and wish they were. And don't have, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, just listen, just because you moved out of your mama's basement or whatnot, and you got your own house and your own apartment now, and you at 40 years old, doesn't mean that you're less of a cornball. So the same reason that these chicks wasn't giving you no attention before is the same reason why they're not giving you attention now. But now you got a space where you could pretend to be something that you're not. And 2024, as Cat Williams said, is the year of truth. And that shit gonna come out. It is what it is.
Shout out to Cat Williams.
For real. Okay, so excuse me, y'all. I figured definitely. But again, I'm giving y'all what I saw on this panel this afternoon. And I think I got to the point where it starts to go left. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and fire it up so y'all can take a quick peek at this right here. Fair use, Ham. I appreciate you. We're gonna go ahead and as the old folks say, we're gonna let the record play. Oh, child, it was fucking extreme. It wasn't no middle ground. No, let's have a conversation. It was some literally do what the fuck I say and get the fuck out type of time. So we gonna go on here and let's see what's going on, because this is what happened. Shit is crazy.
No, they didn't. Like,
no, but I'm saying, but what I'm saying is, did she offer information to you or did you ask?
Bro, it don't even matter.
Right.
It does matter. That matters.
Really don't.
That matters.
Like,
No. JP, to him it doesn't. So let him live his best life. To him it doesn't.
Hey, look, the conversation was had. That's all that matters. You feel me?
You right. When at the end of the day, it's all about you and her.
She told me about Buddy though. But
I know she did.
I mean, yeah, they was friends.
It sounds like she gave you an ultimatum, though, bro.
How did I contradict myself, though?
Oh, every time you open your mouth, you contradict yourself, brother.
How did I contradict myself, bro?
So one thing you sit there and said, she could do what she want to do, but she can't have guy friends. But yet you made an exception. You did say that, dog. You said
you made an exception with that dude.
You made an exception for him.
He said no. He said no new friends.
I said what? Yeah, no new friends, nigga.
No, that is what he said. She said she can't have guy friends.
No, he said.
But then you made an exception for him.
He made exception for the guy from that's also from the same place she's from, because they live in Atlanta. That's the closest.
I don't give a damn where he's from, though, Ham. He could be from me. He could be from across the street from me. She's not. My lady's not having that. We're not doing that. He better find him some new friends.
No,
I'm not talking to you, dog. I'm talking to Ham. I'm not talking to you, brother. I'm talking to Ham. So Ham,
just breaking down what he said.
Whoever that is, he has to find him some new friends. Get to know some people. Find a new woman to link up with. You're not linking up with my woman. That's over.
Link up with my old lady, bro.
I'm not talking to you, bro. I'm talking to Ham.
Yeah, so I
know,
guess
but
he
you
was
speaking
saying
on my situation, nigga.
Yeah, I got you, bro.
the wife.
No, you don't have me if you keep. Oh, keep.
Real,
there you go.
real quick, just real quick. So he was essentially saying, 10-15. Correct me if I'm wrong. Your wife from New York, also?
Yeah, but I met her when I was in the Navy and
No. But I'm saying, but the relation is that he from up there too, and they don't have nobody down there but your family, etc. So you like, okay, and he cool, so she can remain friends with him in terms of talking on the phone, etc. But when they don't hang out together though.
Yeah. They don't
unless
hang
you
out.
around.
Yeah,
So,
that's a fact.
So 10-15, would you give him a key to your house?
Come on, bro. Stop asking stupid shit, bro. Like, what the fuck is
Okay,
wrong
hold on.
with
So
you?
y'all are being weird. Hold on.
Bro, you asking dumbass shit, bro.
Bro, I'm asking a question. If he can have access to your house, how can he have access to your woman?
You keep talking, man.
God damn.
And you shut the fuck up. Huh?
Shout out to Steppenwolf. He timed 10-15 back out. 10-15 will be back at 2:50 unless somebody bring him back, man. God.
Man, I wanted to ask him that question.
Well, he'll be back. I think somebody gonna bring him back because I think people understand what he's saying, what he's trying to say. It just sounds contradictory because he can't hang out with her. They can't go out together singularly, but they could talk on the phone. It just sounds like what it sounds like. So, but I think people are agreeing with him to an extent.
Y'all in agreement with what he's talking about?
What's popping?
What's good, man? What's good, y'all?
What's going on?
What up, dog?
Hell no.
What's up, dog?
Go ahead, Matt.
No, I was gonna say, like, man, I don't understand, like.
Hang on. Okay, Death Note.
What's up?
Just in looking at these dudes on this panel, what's your initial impression?
Look, I'm gonna speak on the topic, right? Hell no. That dude is super cornball. Like, first off, I know in Atlanta, or the case may be, how things get down. So she talking about she got a friend and all that good stuff. Look, that shit ain't sliding because she gonna be sending text messages and deleting them. She gonna be calling and all that good stuff. Listen, only time that's gonna work is if y'all like grew up together and all this other stuff. But that right there to my just because he knew her in New York and they coming down and he good with it. Nah, bro, that ain't working.
If he fuck up, they knew each other in New York. He said they was from New York.
Yeah.
You know how many people in Atlanta are from New York? Are you shitting me?
Yeah, nothing sounded right on that.
All of them, come on. Okay. Now, if they grew up together in New York, that's an old friend. That's something different. But all of a sudden, this motherfucker just pops up, and he from where you from. Like, how did you even initiate that to find that out? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Nene would do that bullshit. All of a sudden, she got cousin I ain't never met before. Are you shitting me? In 20 years, I ain't met everybody? And the motherfucker is from your hometown? And I ain't met him yet? At one of these family reunions, the church functions, somebody cookout, I ain't never. Now, all of a sudden, you got a cousin I ain't never met. Get the fuck out or heard of. Stop the cap. Mm-hmm. But that's old game. That's old game. The girls try to run on dudes. This my cousin you ain't never heard about.
Shoot.
Stop.
Hey, these days I'm the uncle, so.
All right.
Yeah. I guess we old enough to be uncles and shit now, right?
All right, Uncle Earl. All right, let us continue because they gonna rip into this poor dude. This shit, it gets bad.
Are y'all saying that Kate, like when you got a wife or whatever, Kate, she can't have no friends and she can't go nowhere unless you there? I get what you're saying when it comes to the family, but let's just say she got 2 married friends and like maybe 2 single friends. You said she can't go out?
No, are you talking about females or males?
We talk about we going on girl trip, my man Matthew. That's what we're talking about.
That's what I'm
There's
saying.
a
'Cause like,
difference than
let
going
me
to
give
the
you,
bar having a drink.
Will
let me give
brought
you an
Go ahead,
example. The
bro.
reason why I'm saying this because when my wife was 30, this was like 2 years ago. She went to Miami, a spot we had went to when I first met her, but she went with her 2 married friends, and I think it was a single friend that was there with her. Now, I trust her, you know what I'm saying? I know a couple of them friends and things like that, but I'm not watching my wife 24/7 to the point where she got a life, man. You know what I'm saying? She do her, I do me, and at the end of the day, like since we got 4 kids, we can't always get a sitter that's just willing to do things right at the same time. We sometimes can't get off at the same time. So it's like sometimes when y'all be saying these blanket statements like men only do this, men only do that. It's like, come on, man, you can't put men in that box. Like men
Be a
can't
little more specific,
adjust
bro. Be a little more specific. Men can't do what? What we saying? Because if you saying
y'all
we making
saying
blanket statement,
like you saying like men can't allow their wives to go on girls trips as if that's just like that's a done deal that she just can't go.
yeah, it is. For me, it is. I don't know
You know
about the other brother, but for me, she can't go. Nope.
But I'm saying like
So,
niggas
Matt,
get to talking down on niggas because they let it ride.
So Matt, let's ask some clarifying.
Hang on. So what y'all think about that?
I think it's a young dude who really don't know what he's talking about. He just admitted to he was 32 years old.
He said his wife was 32.
He said it was like 2 years ago when we was like
He said she was like 30.
Well, whatever. I mean, it's a new relationship, but some kind of way they got 4 kids. Where did she have?
Well, no, because as it goes on, they've been married like 8 years. But
where do you have time with 4 kids to go out?
I don't know.
That's what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to get to the real issue, not the bullshit that he said. The key thing is he said they got 4 kids. All of us on this panel, I'm the one with 4 kids. It ain't easy to go out when you got 4 kids. So she shouldn't have a need to be going out of a wife and a mother of 4.
Well, she went to Miami.
Huh?
She went to Miami with her people.
I don't care if she went downtown Charlotte. You don't have time.
No.
You just don't have time when you got that many kids.
But notice ain't nobody mentioned the fact that they got kids. He's just like, nah, it's a girl's trip. She can't go.
I mean, I think they're conflating 2 different issues with a girl's trip and a girl's night out kind of thing. They're similar, but they're not the same. And what kind of money are y'all making when you got money, extra money for your wife? You said Miami? Again, who has this money? Who's paying for this shit? And if you got 4 kids, you need to be saving it. So if you got a woman who ain't thinking, oh, I need to be putting some money aside for my kids, instead of going on a fucking party, you should have had these conversations before you even got married to her. The whole shit sounds goofy to me. He sounds like a real young dude. And it's just, I don't know. It's a lot wrong with this shit. And I don't even see the point in having a conversation. Again, I think some of these conversations is just, we just talking about shit to start controversy. Nobody's defining what we're talking about. Like, you know, we talk about millennials. We talk about Gen X. We talking about married folks. Now, I mean, who the fuck are we talking about?
They talking about any woman who's in a relationship.
Yeah, but what defines a relationship today may not necessarily mean what we define as a relationship.
I understand.
So that means that's why I'm saying there needs to be some parameters set.
If you got a man, no girls tripping.
Huh?
Basically, if you got a man, no girls tripping.
I ain't hear you say that again.
I said basically, if you got a man, no girls tripping.
Was this girl going on girls' trips before you met her? That would be my question. And again, before you decided to be in a solidified relationship, did y'all have this conversation like, hey, I know you travel a lot. I know you go with your girls a lot. Well, if you're going to do this, I have a problem with that. Where is that maturity coming? Well, why isn't that happening?
I already told you, folks do not want to have the conversation, contrary to what they be telling y'all. These motherfuckers don't want to have.
I know they don't tell me shit because I don't get into these conversations. That's my point. And neither do they. The only time they want to talk about this shit is when they get on these fucking bullshit panels. They're not having these conversations in reality with nobody. With nobody. With their wife, with their homeboys, nothing. Because if my homeboy comes to me, Defno come to me like, yeah, man, I'm about to get in a relationship with this girl. I'm like, all right, that's what's up. Yeah, but she like to travel a lot. I'm gonna be like, yo, what you plan on doing about that? That would be my question to Defno. What you plan on doing about it? You gonna let that ride? Because she been doing it before she met you? You do a lot of shit before you meet a person. That doesn't mean you continue doing that shit. You might have been a man who went to the strip club every week. Now you in love. You gonna keep going to the strip club every week? I mean, what the fuck are we saying?
Well, I mean, apparently, you know what I'm saying, you could be solid for 20 years and then, you know what I'm saying, do some fuck shit.
Well, usually that ain't the case. She was doing the fuck shit the whole time. She just got caught.
I'm just saying that was the consensus that was reached during this damn stream.
Look, I think that at the end of the day, when it comes to girls' trips, if the man says that he wants to allow girls' trips and allow his girl to have all these men as friends and all this other stuff, whatever the case may be, by all means, that's his prerogative. Me personally, I see all the red flags and I see all the possibilities of what can happen. Just like if obviously I got female friends or anything like that, if I get into a marriage, those female friends got to go out of respect for my marriage, right? And I expect, and I have the same expectation for her. It's one of those things. It's one of those things where, you know, again, these early conversations and what people are willing to allow and all that good stuff. Everybody's different. But if you ask me my opinion, am I good with a girls' night out or something like that? Perfectly fine with it. Depending on what y'all gonna be doing. Now, if you're talking about a girls' night out and y'all having a stripper come through or something crazy like that, then yeah, we're gonna have some conversations that ain't happening.
But party, I got a problem, you know.
Yeah, but anything else, I mean, it's all good, it's all cool. But if you're talking about going on a girls' trip, the thing about it is even when they were talking about it here, I want to ask the question. I would want to be like, okay, well, you said there's 2 married women and a single woman. First off, most women who marry and they're about their marriage and about future and legacy and all that good stuff, they don't hang out with single women. Like you talking about a single woman who's a friend, they typically don't hang out with single women like that. And then, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where who came up with the idea? Because if you about your family and all that good stuff, especially if you got kids, you're not thinking about taking no trip with all the girls and all that good stuff. If you're in the right mindset, you're saying, okay, well, how can we take a trip to get away from this or not together? You know what I'm saying? How can we go out and say, okay, we're going to take a cruise? You know what I'm saying? I've seen families that say, okay, well, I want to go somewhere. I want to do something for me and her, but I don't necessarily want to deal with, you know, the kids the whole time. So what they do is they wait till their kids get slightly old enough to where they can look after each other. They go on a cruise, give them a little arcade card and all that good stuff. And then they go for their massages and all that good stuff. It's a big ass ship. It's not like they're going nowhere. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's things like, it's things like that, you know what I'm saying, that you can do. And me, in my vetting, I would talk to a woman or I would deal with a woman who had that mentality and had those understandings. I've said it a couple times on this stream as well as others that, you know what I'm saying, conservatism has to come back. And that's part of being conservative. I'm not saying that in a political way or anything like that, just the ideals itself. We need to bring it back because all this girls trip and all these talks about going out to Miami. First off, I was born and raised in Miami. I know what goes down for all the women who come in as a group of women. And I know that 9 times out of 10, they're releasing their inhibitions. Where do you think a lot of these videos come from where dude on the phone like, hey man, what's going on? You ain't returning my phone calls while she getting her cheeks clapped in the background. You know what I'm saying? Like this stuff happens. I've seen it happen. I'm not gonna dox myself and tell whether or not I participated in any of that stuff. But I used to be messy when I was young. But yeah, I know that shit happens, and it's only gotten worse as time has gone by because we have so many things that have put it in the minds of women that it's okay, sexual liberation and boss chicks and all this other stuff. Why do you think the divorce rate just continues to go up and up and up and up? People aren't having conversations because, as we talked about a little while ago, communication is the biggest key, and a lot of people aren't doing the work, not only in their relationships, but as far as the communication to weed out a lot of these people. So as far as the girls trips and all that good stuff, for me, I'm good. If you decide halfway through whether or not you want to do a girls trip, then you might as well stay where you're at. Just like my kids, if my kids know that, hey, the time that you need to be inside the house, or not, until you are outside of my rule as far as my house, you know the time it is. And if you feel like you're adult enough that you can stay out past that, then go and stay where you're at. You're 18 years old, but you still living in my house, and you think you can come back to my house at 2 o'clock in the morning, no communication, no nothing. Nah, player. Nah, that ain't happening. Go and stay where you at.
You got comments?
No. So, okay. Okay. So there are no circumstances at all where, like, even if it was like a church trip, I mean, not that make it better.
Shoot, those are even worse.
That's how I'm getting.
Vacation Bible School is the devil.
You right. Yeah. I know a whole bunch of people got pregnant during Vacation Bible School. So that's anecdotal, never mind.
No. Here's a question for you. A woman who's married and devoted to her family, what benefit would that woman have in partaking in the single life?
I have no idea.
That's really the biggest question. Like, if you are a married woman, you're thinking about family, you're thinking about legacy, you're thinking about growth of your family and everything else, what benefit do you think is going to come from you doing things that single people would do, going out to the club and all that good stuff? Because the club ain't for.
I don't think there's going to be a benefit. It's going to be problems. I mean, you on your way to be single yourself. Operate like that.
Yeah, exactly. If you're operating like you're single, soon you will be. And so that's really what all this boils down to. If you're trying to, and I know Girls Trip was singled out, but I mean, it's really kind of the same thing. Like, if you think that you miss the single things and all that good stuff, then that means that technically you're not devoted to where your family is supposed to be heading to. You're not heading towards the success of your children, your success of your offspring, your legacy being fulfilled. You're not devoted to that kind of stuff. And if that's the case, pretty soon you will be single. That's when all of a sudden where you have the Stella got our groove backs and all that good stuff, because her man is only, you know what I'm saying, putting it down. Yeah, he only put it down every so often. He don't buy roses as much as he used to. When y'all
okay, now see that. Now, okay, so this is my thing, though, definitely.
What's up?
So no. I'm gonna have to do a show on this because I'm just what you got to give women something. You gotta.
What do you mean you got to give a woman something? She got 4 kids. She got a house. She got legacy. She got a marriage. What more? I mean, what are you talking about? You got to give her something.
None of that is especially for her. She don't live in that house by herself. She didn't have them kids by herself. She, you know what I'm saying? The legacy, that ain't.
Why does she have to have something by herself?
No, I'm saying because that's how we wired as women. Like,
and that's a personal problem.
How's that a personal problem?
It is. Who said and when did that start that the woman has to have something separately and set aside from the rest of the family plan? When did that start?
No, not okay. That's not what I'm saying. As a woman and you in a relationship with a man.
But you're not just in a relationship with a man. You got 4 kids. You got a house.
Okay, your relationship with your man is different from your relationship with your kids.
Not for a man, it isn't.
Hold on. Even Israel. What I say is even with the kids and my God, I keep blocking people, but
seriously.
Oh, she beat me to it. But yeah, so what I will say is this,
your
right?
Relationship as a wife, your relationship as a mother.
I get that. You're saying what does she have for herself and all that good stuff, as if people can't get hobbies. One of the things that I like to do.
No, I'm talking about as far as the marriage part goes. I wasn't finished before people started trying to jump down again.
Oh, my bad. Israel, shut the hell up.
I'm talking about you, but I'm just saying, like you again, your relationship, your marriage is different from your parental relationship. So if you are in a marriage and the other person is not giving you anything you need to be able to continue and sustain, like you getting some dick once a month and it's like 3 minutes. You're not having a conversation. You can't have a conversation. You're not going anywhere. You're not. There's no interaction. Everything is a task. As a woman, that shit gonna be a problem.
So here's what I say to that, right? If you're talking about the fact that now he's not slinging D like he's courting you and all that good stuff, because before, and I can be sure about this with most relationships. Most relationships, the most you're doing it is probably every day minus periods, right? And that's when you guys first move into each other and so on and so forth. But then you have kids and it slows down for obvious reasons. Mm-hmm. Then you have to work more, so it slows down for obvious reasons. Mm-hmm. The problem is that if your relationship is based off of sex alone, then you guys are doomed to fail.
I'm not talking about just sex. I'm talking about conversation.
Hold on. Let me finish. So what I'm saying is that most relationships that go to long haul, they don't go to long haul without that communication. So if you need to be satisfied a certain way in bed or whatever the case may be, there's communication about that. If, hey, you feel like, things have changed with this and that, there's communication about that. And a lot of these people who would say, oh, this person's just absolutely not open to communication about blah, 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 blah. 9 times out of 10, this person wasn't even open to communication when you guys first started talking. You just looked past it. And the only thing that time does for a lot of the issues and everything that people have is it magnifies it. So if you had a problem with this person smacking their teeth every time you're talking to them, but you look past it because she's cute and every now and again you guys are doing the do, you guys decide to have kids, you guys enjoy the same types of movies, and you look past it because the smacking of the teeth. Now all of a sudden here you are 10 years down the road, and every time she talks to you, she's smacking the hell out of her teeth. It's literally magnified. So have the conversations, and if you start out having the conversations, then you'll be in a good position. A lot of the things that you're talking about are literally because of people not having those initial conversations, and they're just going off of, oh, this feels good. But marriages aren't about feeling good. Marriages were never about feeling good. That's just been a secondary benefit that we've gotten from time to time when it came to marriages. A lot of these people who have made it 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, so on and so forth in marriage, they didn't love each other the entire time. What they had to do was throughout that time, they had to keep finding ways to come back to each other and love each other again.
Right.
Throughout that time,
to a point where that doesn't happen, then this is where these girls trips and all of this, you know what I'm saying, looking for single motherfuckers to see what they're doing and what you missing. That's where all of this shit comes in.
That's because you don't understand duty. And at the end of the day, there's dudes who don't want to work twice as hard, 3 times as hard, or not for the rest of their life, or not when things can be a lot easier if they were just single. But But a lot of these dudes aren't jumping ship and saying, okay, I'm going to leave the relationship. Like, I mean, if I'm talking to a chick and she, you know, we started out and she was, you know what I'm saying, 2 and 3 times a week, I was getting BJs, you know what I'm saying, when I came home from work, or the case and be, now all of a sudden we 2 years in a relationship and I haven't gotten one in 6 months. You know what I'm saying? I had the conversation with her, hey, you know, this ain't going down, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you know, this is what you used to do, blah, blah, blah. And she still ain't doing it. Does that give me the right to go out and say, okay, I'm finna get it elsewhere? Does that give me a right to do all that stuff?
No.
If we're married? No. So at the same token, it should be the same on the flip side that, hey, listen, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I fucked up and maybe I put too much stock into the sex category. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I put too much stock into some of these things. There's a lot of benefits and perks when you first start a relationship. That's why you got a lot of wealthy people who are habitual relationship jumpers. They'll stay with somebody 2 to 5 years. And then once it gets to the point where things start to get real, they'll jump to the next relationship.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you know, folks ain't built like that no more. And that's why a lot of this bullshit is happening. Because folks, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do just enough to get this motherfucker hooked. And then once they get hooked, I ain't doing shit. And then when you say something, it turns into all this yelling and screaming and shit. And then you look up again and the motherfuckers be like, I'm going on a trip with such and such and such and such, and all hell breaks. I have seen it time and time and time again, because communication is shit. It's too many people who don't know how to communicate out here in what old boy call them jive ass. What do you call them?
Jive turkeys.
What do you call jive ass public? What do you call this shit? And The Best Man. That was my movie though. Quentin was my dude. Yeah.
Now, have you seen any of these people who are trying to go on girls trips and all that good stuff, like who properly actually vetted the person that they're with and so on and so forth? Obviously, in their mind, you wouldn't really know if they properly vetted because obviously you didn't have the conversations that they had. That's a stupid question. My bad.
I mean, I've seen the shit go both ways. I've seen, you know what I'm saying, folks in a relationship where, you know, one person it actually went on the trip and it wasn't no shit. And then I've seen it on the complete flip where the motherfuckers didn't even get all the way where they were supposed to be going for the shit popped off. But what I don't get is if you supposed to be committed and all this, what's with the separate trips? Why you can't go together? But then usually always the motherfucker don't want to go nowhere.
Again, I think you're using some extremes. I don't think that guys just universally don't want to go anywhere and all that good stuff. And I get the scenario that you're saying, right?
Sometimes it's a chick.
No, I mean it can definitely be the chick sometimes.
I'm scared to fly. I don't want to do this. It costs too much. It this, it that. Like I've seen it on both sides. And I'm like, if you're in a relationship with somebody and going is important to them, and they supposed to be important, and you suck that shit the fuck up and go.
But this didn't come overnight. It's not like this person, you know, traveled all the time and every single time the opportunity that they had, and all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, 2 years down the road, they're talking about, hey, I never want to travel. I never want to do anything. Most people, even if they lose the flair for traveling, like for instance, when I was younger, I used to occasionally frequent clubs, even strip clubs. And as soon as I hit my 20s, or the case of me, I was like, yo, I've been there, done that. It's fucking nothing new under the sun. And I don't go. But every now and again, you know what I'm saying? Shoot, a friend asked me, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? We throwing a party, you know what I'm saying? Just come out and support. So I come out there, support a little bit, and then I fucking go about my business. But it's not something. It's not something that I do, right? But it's one of those things where I made it kind of clear that, hey, it's not something I do, and so on and so forth. And if I said no, it wouldn't be an issue simply because they know that I don't do that. So if I'm dealing with a woman who doesn't like to fly, doesn't like to travel, she's only been in one state, or she you know, changed from one state to the other, it was a bad experience, and now she just don't want to do it anymore, and so on and so forth. And I decide that I want to get with this woman. I cannot be mad down the road that I'm like, hey, I want to go on a trip. I want to go to another country. I want to do this. I want to do that. And she's so adamantly against it. No, should she change? She shouldn't have to change her mind or change her views on it, or the case may be simply because I want to go.
So with all of that being said, then why is it a problem if you go by yourself?
It's a problem because of the fact that, well, sorry, it's only a problem if she has a problem with it. If she has a problem with me going by myself, then it's a problem.
Okay, so I guess I would have to talk to her to find out why she have a problem with you going and she don't go.
You said what?
I said, so yeah, at that point, I would have to talk to her to find out what her problem with you going is since she don't go.
Yeah, yeah, it's
that would be my next question. Okay, you don't want to go, so why the hell you can't do that?
Yeah, I mean that's what, again, it goes back to that communication. Just like a lot of these dudes on the panel. Again, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people are saying blanket, no going out, no doing this, no doing that. And again, cornballs are just like that, man. They don't understand how real relationships work. So because they haven't really been in them.
Hold on, let's see.
I'm talking about the nigga where you see the motherfuckers every day.
You can, so if you got 4 kids, you really can't afford to be going on them girl trips in. You need to be investing your money. You need to be saving and investing in your kids.
Hey, bro,
you need to invest your money and
But no, I don't know.
Then you're gonna be broken to the motherfucker. First of all, if you got 4 goddamn kids, more than likely you probably got them in daycare or some type of school or something. You gotta buy clothes for all them little bastards. You gotta take care of, make sure they're all fed. So you need to be trying to save your money and to save money on going on girl trip. Let's go on a family trip together. How about we do that?
So see, that would be based on the circumstance of people, right?
Hello.
So if I use myself, my wife don't work.
Okay.
Right. And I don't need to expound on it, right? But she don't even work. So, right, there's circumstances where maybe people have some money, right, to where that's not a factor. So in terms of just the question, if you're dealing with 4 to 6 kids every day, that's a different ball game than one. So I'm asking, does it do?
You send her on a spa day during the week.
So you're saying there's some benefits. So you're saying that decompressing is a thing.
Right, but not out of the country with a whole bunch of other women.
All right, how about in Miami?
You ain't got to leave the country.
Hold on. Don't, because it's very important. I just got to hear this out. So you're saying that a spa day would make sense. So you do concede the point that you do need to, because you literally said you shouldn't have to decompress from children in the family. But if the spa day is feasible, then you would concede the point that decompression is necessary.
If she feels she needs it, yes. A spa day would be appropriate.
Okay, and you're saying she can't go out of town, or she can't go to
why would she want to? Like
Colorado or something? Maybe she likes skiing. Let's say she likes skiing. I don't know.
Well, then y'all can go skiing.
Child, it be more fucking going on in the cold than to do the hot in the beach. Everybody talking about the beach and all that shit. Nah.
First off, just off of this dude talking, he don't really wear the pants in his relationship for one. So he got this DJ Champ or DJ Hemp. Okay. Yeah, he don't really run his relationship, and then also there's some resentment that he has for his damn wife, especially about the fact that she ain't working. I'm pretty sure she ain't working and she ain't doing things around the house, cause yeah, that shit creeped through like a motherfucker. But yeah,
well, they got 6 kids. She had 2 sets of twins, back to back.
Oh, DJ.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean that makes sense. I mean. He made it sound like he only had 1 child, so I'm like,
okay.
Ooh, sheesh.
Yes, I'm saying she had twins back to back.
Yeesh. I don't know why she's trying to go anywhere. You know how expensive that shit is.
No, they talking about this guy over here in the corner.
I know they talking about the other dude.
DJ Hemp wife ain't nowhere. Yeah, but yeah, they got 4 kids. So I'm like, dude, what the fuck? What y'all doing?
Nah, the only one who made some sense just
actually between this dude right here and this lady right here. Like he teed off on her, and I didn't know. That shit was out of order. I'm trying to get to it.
We ain't never talked about her relationship. We ain't never talked about her relationship. We never talked. We ain't never talked about her relationship. You want to say like You can.
I mean, bro, you can say,
if I really wanted to goddamn put pressure on her,
but this shit goes on for like 5 to 6 hours a day.
But I'm not putting pressure on her though. I'm not
forth with him, right? And then what you but hold on, Keith. What you did was move the question to
manager. I could go to her for everything. She could be like, oh, she could fuck me, or I could fuck her. Like, that's not how it works. That's a work relationship. You can't flex your managerial position and then be like, well, your girl comes to me for help. Your girl comes to me for help, so I can fuck her if I want to. That doesn't mean you're her friend, and that doesn't mean that you got any kind of juice because you could. Because if she was your manager, you wouldn't be going to her. That dynamic.
You all have these conversations at home. How do you have these kind of conversations at home where she say, I would like to go on a girls trip, and you say, hell no, otherwise you ain't gonna be with me.
I can tell you exactly how this go. If we're just dating, she gonna know where I stand at. Well, hold on. She gonna know, hold on. Before we even get into a serious relationship, she gonna know how I'm standing already when it comes down to how I feel about girls trips. If I'm dating her, fuck them girls trips. Fuck that weed, fuck all that shit. She gonna know how I'm laying. So we ain't gonna have no relationship if that's what she's talking about doing. It ain't even a situation. It ain't even a situation when we get in a relationship. We ain't talking about it.
That's something that comes up in the middle of a conversation between you getting to know a woman. You say, "Oh,
hell yeah,
this."
Yes.
And he's the queen of
when she asked.
Hold it. Let's stop right here. Is that shit realistic?
I think that's a yes and no.
Okay.
First off, I don't know why this dude's so animated. He ain't getting no pussy. But anyways, but yeah, so
okay, cool. Because now keep him a Death Note. This dude. Okay, remember when I was on Friday and I was talking about the damn panel where they was having the fucking pity party and it was the old don't nobody care about me. Oh, whoa, it's me shit. He was on that motherfucker. He was on the damn panel on the same damn shit again tonight, screaming the same shit. She can't do. I ain't. Yeah, crump for no reason.
Yeah.
This woman asked. What's her question? Was it fucked up?
No, it was actually a reasonable question, but she looks like an older woman, so she comes from a different time frame. So that's why, she asked the question. And so when you keep that in mind and you keep that perspective, you know what I'm saying? She is understanding that, hey, people do have these conversations, or people do have conversations, but this dude, he's making it sound like from day one, from Jump Street, he's like, well, I need my one with this and this and this, and he just presents her ass with a whole list or not, and if she don't like it, pretty much he's talking about, oh, he walking. Like, nobody does that. There is a courting process.
He said dating is not I'm your woman.
Yeah. So, but what I'm saying is that either way, there is a whole process. I mean, even when you go out for, like, when I go out, or what it gets me when I first start talking to somebody, we'll exchange a few messages and a few phone calls, but at the end of the day, I try to get to see the person. I definitely do something small. Coffee is always great and all that good stuff. I know it's taboo now, but during that coffee period, you get to know the person, but you don't get too deep, because the initial conversation is to vet whether or not they're qualified for you to go deeper in conversation. Because that's your initial, hey, I'm gonna weed them out to figure out, you know what I'm saying, without spending $500-$600 just to figure out that this chick is absolutely not what I need to be talking to. You know what I'm saying? You spend maybe $40, you know what I'm saying? Hey, that's Danishes and coffee and all that good stuff. But literally you have a conversation, and through the process of elimination, while she answers the questions and so on and so forth, and it's not an interrogation. It's like, hey, what do you like to do? You know what I'm saying? Oh, do you hang out with your friends? You know, this and that. There's no questions about body count. There's no questions about any of that other craziness. Literally, you just try to see how she conducts herself and how she carries herself. I've even picked up somebody in there and said, oh shit, I forgot I had to stop by the store or not, just to see what they'll do or what they'll say. And then we'll go in, order the case and be, and I'll try to go during the time that it's kind of rowdy, just to see the kind of things that they say about the lines and stuff like that. To see if they're the type of person to be like, man, these people are fucking da 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 da. Typically, when they start doing that kind of shit, then you know, okay, well, this is the kind of person who did. So I have a vetting process where I'll go through a lot of these things, and usually in those early stages, you can weed out a whole bunch of people. And so the way he's making it sound is that He presents somebody with a whole rap sheet of I want this, as if, you know what I'm saying, that's the way to go about it. And again, any dude who's doing those things, obvious cornball. I mean, I'm gonna put that shit on a shirt.
Okay. What you talking about? Okay. Let's because this shit yeah.
I mean, what do I dislike about women? I'ma tell her.
That's what's wrong with a lot of dudes. They not asking the tough questions. That's why a lot of dudes be failing.
No,
they don't vet properly. They not asking the tough questions because they worry about the response. They worry about not getting no more chicks anymore.
She can be got across town. She can be got in the next state. She can be got on a girl.
All is true. And she gonna be gotten by the street. Let her go to the street, either queen. I'm like you. I had to let you go to the street.
This is what I'm talking about, Blaze. But again, the same one on the panel last week, participating in that.
So I hear what we're saying.
Oh, what was me?
Saying?
Oh, nobody asked me how I feel. Bullshit.
When
but
these
this how you
conversations are actually happening. So what she's deducing, I'm speculating. You can correct me, obviously.
Okay.
Is the considerations and the concessions that Matt is willing to make when people are actually having these conversations in real time. Are you betting Heathen Queen that's how they go, more what Matt is leaning to, or consideration, as opposed to if you go, you out of here?
Yeah, because they're talking about, well, I'm giving you ultimatums. Well, you're going to deal with just a specific demographic if you give an ultimatum. You don't give ultimatums in relationship. If you love that person and y'all got a conversation going and you having a relationship with this person, you don't ever sit up there and say, you better not do that, otherwise it's over. Because
I will. I set a boundary.
See. This is what I'm talking about.
So they're pushing back because
this is the shit I'm talking about. But that message is what the fuck these folks is out, what these dudes is out here trying to push. But then all of them fucking single. But then you in the bag, I don't understand why we too old to be single, and I can't find a woman to get on my program. But this is how you present shit.
Yeah, the problem is that they're
like, no, nigga.
Yeah, the problem is that they're coming in on 10.
All that bravado and all that fucking hostility. That's what you gonna get met with. Bitch gonna be like, hey, nigga, fuck you, I'm out. Somebody take me to the airport. Like,
the problem is,
but then, so I said that, folks gonna be like, I'm crazy. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. You can say that same thing with a whole bunch of different words. That part plays. Yeah, but I mean, like, dude, he for real. He like, nah, fuck that. But I'm like, this is your. Come on.
Look, they definitely are coming in. They're definitely coming in on 10, and I think that in this situation, right? Again, I think that she's wrong in kind of what she's saying, and it's not wrong because she's just wrong contextually. She's wrong because she's still thinking that times now are similar to the times where she saw dating and so on and so forth, right? So taking that into consideration, that's why she said what she said, is because, again, the way these guys are coming off, they make it sound like it's an interrogation. As Blaze said, you're talking at women instead of to them. You're not having these conversations. So these guys have taken it as, hey, maybe you shouldn't have the conversation at all. Whereas that's not what she's saying. She's saying that you shouldn't be going into a situation where you're going in and saying, oh, what's your body count? What do you bring to the table? Like all these dang on catchphrases. Listen, these dudes have no life outside of the internet. I mean, it's just, it's crazy. So I think that knowing where she came from, what she asked was definitely logical. It's just the fact that these guys have already made up their minds as far as what she thinks. So they're responding based off of what they think she's trying to say rather than what she is saying.
Okay. All right, let's see how this end up. Because that was my train. I was like, I didn't feel like what she was asking was just so just out of order. But that's
what I'm saying. I'm saying you willing for her to walk out the door. Most men are
yes,
not willing for her to
yes.
walk.
She has to know that. She has to know that.
See,
she has to know that she can't walk over me, and I'm willing to let her ass go based off of my
see, that
principles.
sound like trauma. She ain't gonna be walking all over top of me. Who said anything about her walking over you?
Girls trip.
You got
yes,
that standard.
Yes.
Yes.
Going tomorrow. Yes.
Hey, Al.
Hey, Al. You going to a bar with your boys. The minute you go to a bar with your boys, we done.
You ain't running it like me.
Yeah.
How about that?
Bye.
See, women, you ain't running it like me. See, what? You ain't running it like me for real? Nah, what's good for the goose, good for the gander. You can go do out wherever you want, but she can't do shit. Okay.
Interpersonal dynamics or whatnot have to be established from the jump street. Yes, I agree with that. How you do it, I don't agree with these guys. There's a right way to do everything.
Yeah, this is not a recipe for success. And I keep saying it, but this is not.
Nobody says she can't go hang out with a. He's the queen. Nobody says she can't hang out with a girl. They just not going on girls trips. Now, if you want to go on a girls trip, I'm gonna be right there too. It's gonna be a couple trip. It's gonna be a couple trip. Me and you gonna be there.
Then it ain't a girls trip.
Your girls gonna do what they want to do. Me and you gonna do what we want to do.
Okay.
I told you. It's a compromise somewhere along.
There ain't no compromise. Either we gonna go on the trip together, or you ain't going on the trip.
Hey, Heathen, let me explain this to you.
Nigga, when it's time to go, make sure you ready to fucking go. Don't be coming with that bullshit.
But let me tell you something.
In the name of love,
it wasn't a mean thing or whatever. You know, when I explained it, it wasn't nothing like that. It was just saying, hey, listen, what we did when we were single is what we did when we were single, babe. And when we get together now, we're building something better than what we did. And so now, moving forward, everything that we did, we're gonna leave it there, right? You were single. Now we're married. We're becoming one. Me and you are building together. This is what we're doing on a together basis. So we had our fun. We're gonna move forward in this direction. This is how we're gonna do it, right? And we move from there. We're gonna travel together. You want to go with other married couples, we'll fly with other married couples and do stuff with other couples. But when it comes to male friends and having them close to you like that, I'm uncomfortable with that, and I hope you can respect that, and I'll respect you in the same manner. And we move on.
Just like that.
See, that's it. You said the same thing. Yeah, all that extra shit.
Yeah, that mute button.
Yeah. He said the same thing, did he not?
Yeah, but again.
And he married. It don't take all that shit. It don't take all that. Do what I say and get the fuck out. It don't take all of it.
Nope.
It does not.
Well, that's why he wasn't one of the ones who struck me as a cornball. So.
Yeah.
I mean, but then again, he ain't really said much this whole time. But I'm glad that he did step up and step in, because a lot of these people, they weren't actually hearing what she was saying. Like I said, they were responding to what they think she was trying to say, as if she was one of these younger girls who were just, you know what I'm saying, out here. Yeah, they just didn't get it, and he had to step in because it was a reasonable voice, or a man's voice. And that was the only way that they were going to hear a different perspective, is hearing it from a man. For women, that's not what they're trying to hear.
Yeah. My question is back to JT. Why in the hell? Why do you think women are gonna want to stay in a? Women already supposedly you'll say insecure and over emotional and all that kind of shit. Why the fuck did he think we would stay with you if you constantly got us in a damn state of I can get cut off at any minute? The fuck what kind of successful relationship you getting out of that? That sounds like you set this shit up for trauma. How you prosper in that state? I know that shit would get on my motherfucking nerves.
Look, there's a reason. There's a reason why he not with you, and you said that you get it on your nerves. My whole thing is this: I think that at the end of the day, yes, there is somebody for everybody. Whether or not you find that person is a whole different story. Once he starts actually dealing with women, and I'm not talking about the one or two that he's dealt with in his life up until this point, because again, he ain't getting pussy like that. But yeah, so when he actually starts dealing with women, when a lot of these views that he has start to manifest themselves into something that's more reasonable, he'll start to see that maybe some things will change, and that maybe he'll be more willing to bend and be more flexible, because right now he's trying to make everything one-sided, and it's almost like a revenge tour, as they say. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this person got red pill and they red pill rage. I mean, if you want to look at the definition of red pill rage, that's where he's at. So everything he's saying right now does absolutely nothing for him to actually end up in a relationship. I can honestly say he's the same kind of person who would go over as a passport bro. And these women will definitely talk to him initially because he'll obviously treat them differently. But at the end of the day, they're going to see right through it, and he's just going to end up the same way that he was here, lonely. It's great to have standards. It's just, first off, you have to understand if your standards are too high. And then number two, there's always a way to convey those standards. Nobody wants to be chastised. And I just don't think that's the way that you would look at a person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, chastising them and telling them about what they can and cannot do rather than having compromise. So it is what it is. Dudes are, yeah.
All right, let's finish this on up, and then we're gonna finish.
That's just what I said to her, and I said, "Do we have an understanding?" And her response was, "I understand. I see where you're coming from as far as what we had back then versus what we're trying to build now."
Now, what if she said, I do have girlfriends. I need to visit my girlfriend. I know my girlfriend's longer than you. I know my girlfriend's for 20 years. She lives in Chicago and we live in Michigan. I can't go see my girl.
Absolutely, we're gonna go when we find out.
No, I don't need you to go. I'm going with my girl.
Why would I send you uncover to Chicago?
What's up?
Hold on. But listen up. But Heathen Queen, see now here's where I gotta be fair. Your response just now was unrealistic, also. Based on how he was talking and everything, you ain't like, I don't need you to go.
No, that wouldn't be the response I would give. But I'm saying he's making it an absolute, as in it's absolutely I can't do it. That's not how you run a marriage. That's never how you gonna run a marriage.
That's what men do.
That's what women do too.
What do you mean men do? What do you mean?
Men should be in absolutes.
Well,
if they're in a relationship, they should be in absolutes. And that's what breeds respect as well.
We say should be.
That is what we're missing in this conversation.
Okay, what you think about that, Death Note?
Yo, I like her.
Okay.
She cool. She got a good head on her shoulders. She making sense.
Okay.
Yes, men like the dude JT trying to demand respect. Oh, she needs to respect me, or I'm going and this and that. Da, da, da. First off, real men who respected never demanded. But yeah, like she said, the way that you move is going to lead to that respect and everything else. So she's been making sense and she's been dropping gems, but they're not willing to really hear what she's going to say. It's going to come off as argumentative and everything else. But yeah, she is saying the right thing. Her and Unfiltered.
Okay. All right. Let's see what we got.
Is when men don't lead properly, they don't get the respect. So all we're talking about.
How do we explain these other two men down here at the bottom if that's how it goes?
Wait, that doesn't respect you because you're
nobody ain't now. Here's what I'm getting. Let me just say this real quick. I'm getting. Hold on, Callie, because y'all motherfuckers ain't really listening that good, and I gotta use motherfucker intentionally because I'm getting a little bit disappointed because what's being said is not being fully addressed. So. Heathen Queen, Black Man Unfiltered was diplomatic, right? But he was absolute. You didn't push back. But then you heard the word absolute and you seem like you took exception with it. See, absolute, you think he's acting like a dictator. That's not at all what he did. He was benevolent in his speech to his wife. And so when he said it, it was palatable and you didn't push back. Then you just asked another question.
That's palatable to you. That's not necessarily palatable.
Well, no, I'm saying when you were having it back.
That's why her ass single.
But hold on. What you did was move the question to what if I need to go see my girlfriend. So when he answered your initial question, it was cool because of how he said, "I respect you in the same way." Right. That is absolute, but he's also giving both sides of what's going to happen in this situation.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah, but there's no exception. I get that, but there's no exception to that. Nobody puts an exception, or it's no exception to that rule. And not all people give those kind of absolutes. These two gentlemen down here in the corner are not like that. So it ain't all black men. It's not all men that gotta lead like that. It's not all men that respond that way. Why is it that they respond that way? These men at the bottom, who must be securing their women that they understand that she wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go on a girl's trip and cheat on my husband. But I absolutely would not take it well if my husband came to me and said, "You ain't going on that trip, otherwise we ain't doing this."
Mm-hmm. But you
can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah, you can answer a question. Just after I clarify this point. You also told us that your husband ain't take no shit, and he said what he said is what he said. Yeah, so I believe what you told me before. I do not believe what you told me just now.
Yeah, but he gave me boundaries within where
I just because he said what he said, don't mean he was saying this shit to these motherfuckers.
Cross my boundaries.
I know, but here's what I'm saying. You pushing back the absolute. You told me directly that your husband said what he said, and niggas shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that was family life. That's not me individually.
God, good.
How we were living our life.
All right,
it's a different story from you telling me I can't wear a dress outside.
Let me ask you a question, Heather, real quick. I want to ask you a question real quick. Would you go into a country of men where there were no police?
No.
Why?
Because your laws are only as strong as your police force. Exactly.
I am the law. I'm the leader. I'm the covering. And if I tell you something and I do it out of love, and you and we're respecting each other, and I do it out of love, and you go against what I'm trying to do in this marriage as the head of this household, as the head of you, and you go out and something happens to you, I think men should get to a point and say, you know what, Heathen, if you want to go out tonight with your friends against what I said, you do that. But if something happens, don't call me, don't text me. You figure it out.
But
because you're covering.
You said that.
No. But I'm telling you how it should be with hard-headed ass women.
Should.
Right, because when you're hard-headed as women, some women have to be taught by experience instead of taught by logic. So you have to go out and experience getting fucked over or do disrespecting you, and then you want to call Big Daddy. Hey, Dad, hold on. What I'm saying is what you want to do is men think ahead. Men look at the windshield, right? We look at the windshield. We look forward. Right, you looking at the rearview mirror.
You're scared I might fuck somebody else. That has nothing to do with
even if you come to me and tell me I want to go out with my girls, we're going on a girls trip,
and in my head I'm gonna fuck somebody else. No, that has nothing to do with
that's the thing. Hold on, and that's you're too old to have this type of immaturity, because we're not even just talking about dick. We're talking about safety. We're talking about something happening to you. We're talking about. Hold on.
Okay. No, you're not.
We're not just talking about dick. Dick is a possibility.
Hey, y'all, I'm about to drop off. This shit giving me a headache.
As well. Something where
Okay, but watch.
Okay, definitely. So it's not this. What did you think about what he said about it's not just about dick, it's about safety?
I mean, to each his own. Look, she it's hard to order out this conversation with her. She's in her box, she's in her bubble, and she don't listen. And it's funny because what she's saying is not consistent to what she says she dealt with her husband based off of the things that they brought up. You said she was widowed, and I mean, there ain't many men who gonna put up with the things that she's saying, like the way she's saying and the things that she's saying, talking about, oh, I'm just gonna go order the quesadilla and all this other stuff. There ain't many men who gonna put up with it. But she's spewing a lot of the same rhetoric that got womanists into the same position that they're in now. And this whole thing, I'm just not jiving with it, man. I'm just like, why they still having this conversation? It's almost like they at this point they trying to convince her. And that's a waste of damn time.
All right, well, let's see what this last little shit he got to say.
Yes. So heathen,
I can listen in it.
would you rather be with a man where you can go on your girls' trips, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do, and the only time he want to fuck with you is when he want to fuck you? Is that cool to have that type of a guy?
Well, that's not how
no
happening.
money, no nothing. All he doing is blowing your back out. When your car is fucked up, he ain't got no dealings on that. When you need to get some money somewhere, he ain't got no dealings with that. If you need somebody to move your furniture, he ain't got nothing to do with that. All he want to do is just fuck
stupid
you.
shit.
That's it.
Now,
you talking about the fuck boy?
You want to change it to something else.
No, I'm asking you a question.
All you have been doing has been talking about.
I asked you a question.
She don't fuck nobody else. Now
no,
you
listen.
Change what you talking about. Why you protection? That's
no, listen. I'm asking you a question. Can I get an answer?
Ask it again.
Make you say shit again.
Would you rather for a man to just fuck you? The only time he fucking with you is when he fucking you. We get along with each other just like that. You don't live up under my roof. If you need me to help you with anything, don't call me. You just call whoever else. All I want to do is get some pussy. That's it. Would you just deal with that guy?
Depending on the circumstances, yeah.
Oh shit.
And what the circumstances? What does it depend on then?
Whether or not that's all I want from you.
Now you got the understanding. Would you rather have that man? We got that understanding. Would you rather have that man?
As a man?
You are fond of him. You like him. You like this guy. We ain't talking about somebody that you don't like. There's somebody that you done gave your body to.
Right.
But the only thing he dealing with is just fucking you. That's it. He don't want nothing else to do with you.
Hold on, you talking about her husband or just some nigga?
I don't
Are you
get
talking
Nah, that's too easy.
This
man.
is for her. This is for her.
Are you talking about her husband or just some random nigga? Because if you ain't talking about her husband,
dog, this is for her. This ain't for you. I got a question I need an answer to.
I told you it depends on the circumstance.
That's not an answer. Depend don't mean anything. You like the guy.
You gotta answer a dumbass question.
15.
The reason why I said this, because she ain't gonna answer it, and this dude right here, I don't know what he's talking about, is for the simple fact that the man, when he's fucking with a woman, he fucks with her. It just so happened that a few of us as men have boundaries, and we will save the woman. She would be up under us. Period. If whatever she asks of me, I got her. I'm not a nigga that's just gonna be dictating. You can't. I'm gonna be everything that I need to be for her as her man. The only thing that I'm asking for her is to have certain boundaries. And one of the boundaries is no going on fucking girl shit. You can go on trips. You go on trips with our family, but the majority of the time we gonna be going on trips together. And if you don't feel like you can fuck with me like that, then okay. We don't need to fuck with each other.
Why did you say she couldn't go on world trip? What was your first response?
She can't go on fuck. This is the thing. I don't want my woman going on girls' trips because we ain't got enough money for her going on those separate trips and me and her going on fucking trips. How about that? How about that? She going on a motherfucking trip that's gonna cost her $1,500 fucking dollars so she can be miserable with them skates that she with, and she out here making all kind of fucked up decisions. I don't want that. I would rather for her to go to Disneyland or Disney World or Universal with me, or go to goddamn Mexico, or go to Germany, or go to Belgium with me. Not that dumbass shit with them skates that don't care nothing about, that she gonna fall out with anyway.
Let me say this real quick.
That wasn't what you said.
Hold on. Let me.
What does it need to get that emotional and shit?
I mean, I told you he was emotional. I don't know what's going on.
Like, dude, like she said, it was a different answer every trip.
He need to get his levels checked, because he going through something.
It was a different. Excuse me. It was a different answer every trip. Again, but if that's your version of having a conversation, no wonder shit ain't getting resolved.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a sneaking suspicion this is what them conversations look like behind closed doors, if they happen at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up for the people. Again, if this is not having the conversation, this is some fucking I don't know what the fuck that is. That's just screaming. That's fucking screaming. Men, if you want something, if you need something from us, just ask. And once you make that request, be willing to have the conversation. On that note, I will see y'all on Friday. Foolishness and fucking Friday. I might do a little pop up on Thursday. But again, if it's something that you need, even if it's something that you want, ask for it and be willing to have the conversation. Till next time, y'all, this is Almondeyez 78. You guys take care. I'll see y'all later.